All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a great day. I finally got some decent sleep, so I'm feeling better today. And I got my truck back, and that was an amazing drive. It's so awesome to have full self driving inside of my Cybertruck. No regrets on that whatsoever. Lots of people have questions about Bitcoin, it looks like this morning. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the economy. We'll talk about the port strikes. We'll talk about Tesla. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't able to get to tomorrow and the market recap since I was on the road. I also listened to some great podcasts. It was an awesome day, I gotta say. All right, real quickly, let's look at economic stuff. And yes, we can cover questions about like support zones and what I think is happening with Bitcoin. I think a lot of it, again, guys, you got to remember this. We have 4 weeks until a major election that decides economic policy. Once that come out, and I'll tell you, economic policy in a major way for how we go forward as a country. So there's concerns on both sides because they both think the other is completely wrong. So we've got that in front of us over the next 4 weeks. We also, on top of that, have this port strike, which is very interesting. And again, so the impact is minimal. We'll talk about some of that. Shipping freight container prices are actually going down, which is good. So there's concerns with what's going on with this port strike, and they need to be resolved. They can't go on for a long time. The first week is looks like minimal, but we do need to fix that. But then you also have concerns about what is going to happen between Israel and Iran. So I'd say that there's a decent amount of concern, broad based, across multiple sectors right now. Now, on a bright note, it's probably going to get us, if we have another down day in sideways chop today, to probably get us down at the low end of greed. So that's not a bad place to be in if we want further upside. And we have the ability, again, let me go over here. I'll look at this one. So we have the ability to go much higher than we are right now for greed, guys. Again, I've said this before, but if you look over here in February 2023, we were quite a bit higher, right? And then, oh, no ads, please. And then over here, from all of June all the way through to late July, a period of 6 weeks, we sat in an overextended 80 plus range on average. Whereas now we didn't even get up near that. So we were at 73.51. And again, over here, we were at that area too, and even higher. I mean, look at how long we stayed above the levels of what we're seeing right now, all the way back from December of 2023, really to March of 2024 in an overextended range. So we have the ability to go a lot higher. This is something I want you to understand. But here's the thing. Everybody was talking about October. My buddy Income Sharks, as usual, very pragmatic, said, hey, when everybody's talking about this, I think we're probably going to drop. If we drop at the beginning of the month, I actually think it's probably going to be much more positive than if we keep running, because that will mean, obviously, with where we were at, that we would be in extreme greed very quickly, and maybe the rest of the month would be rough. So we're front-running pain right now. I think that's exactly what's happening. And I don't think it's that big of a deal. And we can look at support zones for all this stuff. Here's what I would encourage you to think of, though, okay? And we're going to look at a bunch of reasons why you should feel this way. You should be optimistic. You should be optimistic as hell right now. And you should be optimistic because of the fact that Bitcoin is up 44% year to date and that we've been grinding sideways for almost 7 months now in the second phase of the bull cycle, which every time has turned out super positive. You should be excited about the fact that we have an election coming up, and after election cycles, Bitcoin's price goes straight up. Let me actually show you a few different things here, okay? You should be excited that job cut announcements in the tech industry fell by more than 28,000 in September, the largest decline since December of 22. You should be excited about that. There's a whole bunch of stuff you should be excited about. But since you guys are asking about Bitcoin, let's start there. We got economic data to look at too. But again, this is where we fucking are. This, if you look right over here, this is what happened. If you look right over here, this is what happened. If you look over here, this is what happened. And again, this one got neutered. We're right here. We're ready to go up. This is what's happening. If you look over here, Crypto Rover has, hey, here's the Bitcoin or the economic cycle. You can see where Bitcoin went up here. And he's like, guys, we're right here. We're getting ready for the next leg up. He's 100% right. If you look over here, Vector Prime says, how long will they fool us? And so all this is showing is RSI going down for Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin dominance going up while RSI goes down. So there's a divergence here that means that we want to pop to the upside on altcoins. And I'll just remind you of something else again real quick. We'll get into the meat of this and I'll start going through comments, but I want to be clear, guys. This is very important. Don't get pessimistic because there's a fucking down day or two. Don't change your entire investment thesis because there's a couple of days of down price action. So this says United States and Iran and politics, a pandemic, U.S. elections, banks collapsing, the Russian-Ukraine war, or even the yen carry trade. It turns out Celion is right. Samson Mao. Bitcoin always comes out on top. This is BlackRock's research. I talked about this the other day. Over a 60-day time frame after the U.S.-Iran escalation, Bitcoin outperforming gold in the S&P. After the COVID outbreak, Bitcoin outperforming gold in the S&P. 60 days later, the 2022 U.S. election or 2020 U.S. elections, Bitcoin vastly outperforming gold in the S&P. The Russia invasion of Ukraine, Bitcoin outperforming gold in the S&P. U.S. regional banking crisis, Bitcoin outperforming gold in the S&P. Yen carry trade is turning out the exact fucking same way. Trust me. We'll fast forward like another 15, 20 days. It'll be the exact fucking same. And if it isn't in 15 or 20 days, it'll be 40. It doesn't fucking matter. This is the signal, okay? So don't lose your shit because we've had a couple of down days. That's not what's happening. And even if we go down a little bit further, this is actually a good representation of what we could see here. If we got in the 58,500 range, that could happen. We could do that today. Doesn't fucking matter. We're going up. It's predefined. Because, here's a great illustration, this is what matters. I've said this a bunch of times. We are establishing support off of previous resistance on a multi-year time frame. Going back, again, over 4 years. Over 4 years. So, This is the signal. Ignore the noise. Focus on what's right. Also, Crypto Rover, again, like I was saying, U.S. elections. What did Bitcoin do? U.S. elections. What did Bitcoin do? U.S. elections. What did Bitcoin do? Is this time going to be different? Fuck no. So, and there's just so much more, guys. Cointelegraph. New whales are accumulating Bitcoin faster than ever before. New whales are wallets holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin with an average coin age of 155 days. Look at this. Now, a ton of this is ETFs. Not going to lie. But this is a big deal, okay? This is a big deal. This accumulation is huge. It means the big boys are here. And it means that we're running out of Bitcoin on exchanges. We are going up. Also, Franklin Templeton, a $1.6 trillion fund, wants to files for their Bitcoin and ETH index ETF with SEC. And again, here's my whole point. It's like, oh, Bitcoin's dead, guys. It's so dead right now because it's not doing anything at all. And it's like, oh yeah, it's still up 44 fucking percent this year. Okay? And you got people like Ro Khanna who says that we should talk about having Bitcoin as a part of our Federal Reserve assets. Kind of seems like signal. Vivek says buying Bitcoin now is like buying real estate in Manhattan in the 1800s. I 100% agree. We're in the Motorola camp of technology right now with Bitcoin. Okay? We got a lot ahead of us. And again, Samson Mao, he said this better than I did. I pulled up the same chart. I just basically retweeted it from Jerome, talking about how, well, and I added my own comments. I said, you're a fucking idiot if you're buying gold right now and selling your Bitcoin to do it. But this is what the gold boomers think, right? But Samson Mao said, imagine trying to hedge against war by selling Bitcoin to buy paper gold that you can't move anywhere in the event of an actual war. Super smart, guys. Super smart. Jack Mahler says the middle class and those without assets will be the ones who feel the impact of lost purchasing power from money printing. Our current administration is fucking us. Our debt is rising at a completely unsustainable level. Even if you factor out interest rates or interest on debt being a major part of that, the amount of spending the current administration is doing is fucking insane. Marty Party says if Trump wins and we get a 40-year-old VP, we're going up. I 100% agree across all markets. Bitcoin for Freedom said, while people sold yesterday in fear of war, the BlackRock ETF bought 650 Bitcoin. Income Sharks. He's got his OBV indicator, but he showed how, hey guys, we're going to go down a little bit more. We haven't done that yet. Again, that 58.5 level, perfect area to stop. And that we're going to go up afterwards. And I 100% agree with that. He's 100% right. There's so many indicators that show that as support. So anyway, that's just Bitcoin. That's just Bitcoin in the last 24 hours, okay? So don't freak out, guys. It's going to be all right. You need to have you could literally, here's the deal. Go out and touch grass for the next month. You're going to be richer. If you're worried, if you're stressed, just fucking leave. Come back. Don't watch any of my shit. Or watch my shit to be able to get, the positive vibes that you need. And then come back in a month for the rest of the shit. And you'll be fine. All right, let me look here. Laverne. See, I'm coming back with a vengeance. Laverne's, I've got so much to do, too. I've got so many things I promised for you guys that I need to work on. My own personal life is insane right now, too. But I'm working on it. And, in regard to my dog, Shiley, she can't walk. I think she must have fell and hurt herself, maybe going up and down stairs. So we're taking her into the doctor today. We're probably going to get some x-rays, maybe an MRI. It's going to cost a stupid amount of money because I don't have insurance for a dog. But whatever. We'll figure it out. Hopefully she's good. I'm hoping she's just dislocated her hip or something and she'll be all right. But she's so old. It could just be the end, too. Trying to mentally prepare ourselves for whatever. Anyway, moving on. Laverne Spencer, let's go. Thank you to whoever gifted me a sub. Yeah, there's so many people that were doing that. You guys rock, man. Like everybody, like JD, Susan, Disease Kodak. There's so many people I can't even keep up anymore that keep contributing. Thank you guys. Martin Pillich, hey Jesse, JD, there's one of them right there. Good morning, my friend. Laverne, I finally I can get my opinions heard. There you go. You could do that by paying for your own too. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, Alexander. Good morning, my friends. Antonio, let's go. What's up, buddy? What's happening with BTC and MicroStrategy? I think I just told you what's happening with Bitcoin. The shocking thing is MicroStrategy is still up 0.3% on the day, even though Bitcoin is almost hitting 60,000 and falling underneath of it. So I would say MicroStrategy is showing an amazing amount of resilience. Could it drop a lot today? Totally. It could. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried about it. Also, just in regard to other stuff, the dollar's up 0.3%. It's getting closer to those numbers that I was talking about. Oil up 0.67. Again, worries about Iran and Israel. Probably legitimate. I think Israel could start striking. They'll strike military facilities for sure, maybe even nuclear facilities. Not to create like a nuclear event, but to wipe them out and basically make it to where they can never create a nuclear weapon. I could see that something like that happening. That would be the most drastic. Let's hope that isn't true. Flux was up 2.8 yesterday and 3.4 today. That's fascinating. Oh, wait, never mind. Rex made a video. That's why. Okay, that's what it is. All right, let's look what else we got here. Things are looking okay. We'll look at, we actually should hop over. I'm going to read more comments while I'm doing that. We're going to hop over because of the Challenger job cuts report. Again, actual was only 7282. So 72,821. 0.821, whatever, however you read that. 72,000, 73 almost. And the forecast was 79. So people aren't laying off a lot of people. That's a good sign. Tech isn't laying off people. We're not seeing a lot of job loss. That's okay. We like that, right? What did I tell you guys? The biggest concern is if we want this economy to keep pushing forward, okay? We don't want to have jobs become a concern. Today, at least so far, with the Challenger job cuts, we aren't seeing that. And that's great. It's the opposite, right? We're seeing less job cuts. We want that. And we know this in advance because we actually look at the layoffs so that we know what's coming next before other people do. Okay? So, and we know, again, guys, 457 tech companies have layoffs this year. We're already about 78, almost probably 80% of the way through the year. And we know in 2023 there were 1,200 that did. So we know this stuff because we look at things that tell us what's going on before the Fed does. All right, anyway, U.S. employers announced 72,821 job cuts September 2024, slightly down from August, but 53% higher than the 47,457 a year earlier. That's fine. We don't care. And I should actually zoom out here a little bit. Technology announced the most job cuts, followed by healthcare and entertainment and leisure, considering Q3 companies announced plans to cut 174,597 jobs, down 16% from Q2, but up from Q3. For the year, companies have announced 609,242 job cuts, up 0.8% from the 604,514 in the same period last year. Now, these are weird because you have peaks and troughs. I think the actual message here is what we're seeing from Kevin Jordan. Tech companies already front ran all their job cuts, right? They haven't been hiring more. Like there's a lot of developer jobs. I feel bad for developers. A lot of them are getting replaced by ChatGPT and stuff like it, and just programs that can write code, right? There's just less need, and just analytics. I mean, there's less need for people like some of the stuff I used to do where you'd be an analyst. I mean, I'd say I'm still pretty high on the list, but if I needed a job, I don't. But a lot of other people, man, if you can literally just ask a question to a system and get the answers, like with Palantir's software and a number of others, and it scans your entire organization and then gives you the data points. Like, do you really need a lot of analysts? You probably get rid of a bunch of them. But so I think the real signal, though, on job stuff is this right here. It says job cut announcements in the tech industry fell by more than 28,000 in September, largest decline since December of 2022. So that's good. We want the job cuts to fall. We want the job cuts to fall. Am I reading this right? Yes. Yes, I am. Also, let me get caught up with chat, and then we'll go down the rest. Let's see what we have for over here real quick. Let me get over here. So we still have, at 7:30 in 10 minutes, we have initial jobless claims continuing 4-week average. Then we got some Canada shit. Should be interesting. Then, and we're starting to look at some of these other areas like Hong Kong, China. I should probably ask India to the list. Do I have India? I better have India. What kind of idiot would not have India? What kind of fucking moron? All right, there we go. Probably have a few others to add too. Anyway, so today, 8:45, we'll have S&P Global Composite Services and Services for PMI. We'll have ISM Services PMI. We'll have factory orders. We'll have more ISM data. And that's about it. Bed balance sheet too. That should be interesting. See how that's going. But we have a lot of data points to cover today too. And I think if the jobs data over today and tomorrow is more positive, we're going to be doing better. All right, real quickly, and then I'll get over to chat. So 10 minutes. Let me try and get caught up on chat. All right, let's see here. Hey everyone, how are you feeling today? Red or green? I don't know. Undecided. We need this economic data to come out in the next hour and then see how it sits. French EV boy. Laverne. Jesse, what's your thought on BTC and the 200-day moving average? I don't know. Let's see here. Which average are we talking about? The daily? I mean, I don't care. I'll skip that right now. I'll pull that up in a little bit. Here's what I think about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin can go down to 58.5. That's what I think. So that's possible. Bam. Yeah, Junkrat said, bam, how's that for timing? Sat at computer with coffee and market news and Jesse and friends is on. Sweet timing. JD, Bitcoin shit in the bed. Just temporarily. Who cares, dude? This is again, even at the level we're at, let's say we're only up 40% for this year. And we're getting ready to, what I believe is go up another 50%, at least by the end of the year. So that's the way I look at it. Laverne, can you show us the volume profile where, I just told you where it is, but we can look at it a little bit more and I can show you other technical stuff too. But I did show you, again, based upon like accumulation zones, based upon just a number of things that we're at the bottom. Maytag, good morning, Jesse and everyone. Junkrat, morning, dudes. JD, hey, Junk. Hey, Junk. Only here can you get away with it. Alex Garcia, morning, guys. Les Walter, morning, Jesse. Did it drive itself home? It did. Fuck yeah, it did. It had to calibrate, so I went and got some coffee. But it drove itself home. The Tesla Service Center, they didn't fully attach the thing on the window because I was getting the window replaced too because I cracked it, along with a bunch of other shit, like the shield I fucked up from jet skiing. But yeah, so they didn't like attach the other thing, so I got to go back and get that fixed eventually. And then the vault cover, if you use it internally and you press the close button, it just closes perfectly. But if you use it externally, it like stops like 7 inches before it closes, and then you have to like press it a couple times to get it to close. So there's some annoyance stuff, but man, outside of that, it looks beautiful. And with all the referral credits, the damage was like 44,230 something or whatever, something like that. But with all the referral credits, I just paid them $235 and went home. So thank you to everybody who partook on that. I've still got 2 referral credits out of 10 left for the remainder of this year. I'll probably post about them. Chris John, what's your opinion, Chris Camillo, and his returns? What's your opinion on Chris Camillo? I don't know Chris Camillo. Who is Chris Camillo? Maybe remind me a little bit later in the conversation. We can look that up. Cass, and maybe clarify what you're talking about on there too. Like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know the context of this. Cass, good morning, fam. Laverne, Spencer, it's a narrative to control people's attention. Palantir solves all logistics. A huge amount. Yeah, totally. I agree. Actually, I think with like shipping and freight, that's a really great example of Palantir's use case. For sure. And then just automation, robotics. You don't need these fucking dock workers. Like 90% of them can go away. JD, Jesse, doesn't it make sense to keep a small amount of cash at these times? If you want, I don't give a fuck, man. We're so close. I look at it this way, JD. We're so close to exploding higher, I do not give a fuck. And we're seeing major support zones that we're getting close to. And I said yesterday, I'll show you Bitcoins, I'll show you Tesla, and where I said that it's going to be a strong layer of support. And I think it exactly will be. And then we'll start going higher. I think that this little trough is almost over. But again, today's data, tomorrow's data is going to be huge. If employment starts to weaken substantially, the markets can go down. So my answer will be kind of like, it'll be twofold. It'll be if I'm wrong about the jobs related data, then yes, it would have been smart to hold cash. But even with that said, global liquidity is expanding. We've got election cycle. We've got Bitcoin's second leg up. We've got normal economic cycles for the month of October are outperformed drastically historically. There's a bunch of other stuff with Seth Golden and just a bunch of other people I'll show you in a minute that are really, really positive. So I'm not worried about it. I just don't care. It's such a short term mentality. Like I'm looking at the end of the year. That's what I care about personally. But hey, man, if I'm wrong and you took some cash and it benefits you, that's awesome. I hope so. Prince V Boy, JD, always cash is king. Not really. Cash is shit. Dilutes all the time. But when you're making a bunch of money, if you really made a lot of money, it never hurts to nibble off and use that to buy stuff. I mean, again, I've sold over $550,000 in Tesla options. I'm still up a shit ton, and I redistributed that towards mostly Bitcoin and other stuff that will benefit me greatly. So I do agree that rebalancing or having some cash does not hurt. Junkrat, love Bitcoin talk in the AM. Me too. Carlos Sabork, a morning boss man. I have my work later today, so excited to be able to be here in the morning show. Awesome, dude. Kosh 2000, it's impossible to not be pessimistic after you see your investment go down 20% to CL. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm probably more weathered than you are, Akash. I don't when I know the fundamentals and the technicals and the financials and the macro environment are all lining up on my side, the price action is the least of my concerns. Gary Correct. Morning, guys. Love it, Jesse. Missed your optimistic voice so much yesterday's evening. Yeah, sorry, dude. It's probably a good time for me to be around, too. But I was, like, barely awake while my car was driving me home. So I was not in a position to talk about anything. 4-year cycle. Even though I did buy, I realized that if you put the phone right above you in the Cybertruck, that if you're looking straight ahead, like a little bit elevated, you don't have to worry about the attention monitoring messing with you. So I bought a mount for my phone so I can put it up in the center dash so I can watch YouTube videos and learn stuff while I'm driving in the future. I don't recommend that. Don't tell anybody that. But it does everything so good. And then since it's up there, it's kind of where you're able to still see everything in front of you, especially on the interstate. But then you have a tiny little screen where you can like watch and see what's going on while seeing this. And I don't know, man. It's so good. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Autonomy is right in front of us. If you guys haven't tried, and my version is 12.55 actually with the Cybertruck. If you haven't tried this stuff, it is so good. Frenchie EV Boy, what do we got for timing too? Let's see here. So we got a couple minutes, and then we'll have that data coming out. French EV Boy, by the way, everyone, if you like innovation, smartphones, or knowledge, I recommend watching the movie about the rise and fall of BlackBerry. Yeah, that's probably a good one. And again, you know what happened to Apple? You know what happened to Apple stock after the iPhone was announced? The stock fell. The stock fell. Isn't that fucking insane? The iPhone was announced. It was the greatest innovation for cell phones and technology in a very long time, and the stock price fell the next day. So if you're short-sighted, man, you could be like, you can lose over the short term, but do you think that would have been a good time to invest? And should you have sold the next day? Fuck no. Only idiots. Dylan, for real, markets went up when I went on holiday. All right, Dylan, can you go on vacation? We want to see some upside. Lowe's 94. Jesse, you look so refreshed, bro. Killer energy. I have a lot more than I've had in a while. I got a lot to do, too. I still haven't done the crypto portfolio thing. I've got to make sure that in WAP, there's not people that still can't get in. I haven't looked at that in days. So if anybody tried to get a membership, I've got to figure that out. I also got to do verification so I can actually get paid from WAP. But I've got so many things to do. I've got a bunch of charts to add. I got a lot of work to do, and then I've got so many things in my personal life. But so it's good that I have energy. I'm going to need it. David, morning, future millionaires, and the millionaire who taught us to get there. Thanks, David. Let's hope that's true. It will be. No guarantees, though. Not financial advice. I need to fix that so that the text goes up a little bit in the comments so that you can actually see my disclaimer. Andrea says, Jesse, my personal positive vibes dealer. Thanks, man. Vibes, render to the moon. That should probably do all right. David Chapinda, Jesse, Israel strike, Russia base. The world is not helping us. Israel strike a Russia base. What do you mean by that? What happened, David? Israel struck a Russian base. A Russian base where? Can you give me some, and how recent was that? Can you give me some clarity? Again, I was pretty MIA. I was just watching videos and trying to learn myself and do deeper thinking, things that are harder to do when you just have a bunch of shit in front of you all the time. Um, Dude, I am loving. I know there's some people that still think that this whole like pro X thing isn't great, but I love it so much. I love it so much, guys. I can literally in real time see all the major stuff going on, and then also see things that I'm searching for with a keyword search, and then also see notifications and comment responses. It's just so awesome, and it's so fast. It's going to allow me to do a much better job getting data out there. I'm very excited about it. Render to 100 minimum if Bitcoin launches to 150. Maybe. I'd have to look at the chart. Finance Falcon, what's your thoughts on Fetch? I mean, it's another shitcoin. I don't know. There's so many shitcoins, guys. I'm not going to have a lot of thoughts on the shitcoins. I'm just going to tell you they're shitcoins. And the thing I'm probably most going to pay attention to is the technicals outside of maybe like Solana and others. Like, again, if they go up a lot, if I make a lot off of them or you made a lot off of them, I can tell you from a technical level what might be happening, and then maybe more fundamental research at that time to let you know if it's just a trash one and you've made a ton of money and you're near technical resistance and should get the fuck out without being financial advice. That's the kind of stuff I can offer. I'm not going to research every one of these. I used to own FET. I don't remember what they fucking do. I don't care. 99% of it is shit. So that's kind of my take there. If you want to look up individual coins, you're going to have to go somewhere else or talk again in the Discord. There's plenty of you that know a lot more about probably Fetch than I do. So you guys can respond to that kind of stuff, but I need to keep track of the, 1,000-foot view. I need to make sure that I understand the macro, the U.S. economy, what's going on for the fundamentals of the major companies and the largest parts of my portfolio. Jobless claims out. Good call. Let's look. Jobless claims. Initial jobless claims up by 5K. Not a huge number, but up. Continuing jobless claims, better than expected. Jobless claims 4-week average, better than expected. So a little bit of an increase in jobless claims. Market could use that as a reason to sell off a little bit this morning. But if you look at the trend here, you can't even go back that far. If you look at the trend here, it's been really good since July. And we're still just well within nominal. The only thing that really fucks this up is the pandemic. If you got rid of the pandemic, guys, we're not that bad. 247, 230. Like pre-pandemic, those are the kind of numbers we're looking at, and we just got a read that comes well in line of that. So just remember this stuff, like keep it in perspective. Actually underneath, so what we were looking at pre-pandemic, we got, 225 for initial jobless claims. But again, if you go way back in the way back machine here, look at this. Before that, we were seeing claims way higher. Look at this, 300,000, 400,000, and that's coming off the 2008. But look at this. So for years, we had massive claims. The market was still going up in 2010, 2011, 2012. The claims were higher than they are now. 2013, 2014, the claims were higher than now. 2015, the claims were higher than now. 2016, the claims were higher than now. It was really like 2017 and 18 where they started to get lower than they are right now. So I don't know what the market will do with this data over the short term, but it all looks fine so far. None of this looks bad whatsoever. That's my take right there, guys. And all right, let me get a little further in chat. So nothing really there, nothing interesting. Now at 8:30 in an hour, we get Canadian data in regard to PMI. I am interested in that. And again, we're going to start looking internationally because we need to understand what's happening around the world, not just the United States. It's very important that we know everything. We want to know it all. So as much as we can at a high level view. All right, let's keep going here. Antonio, I have 150,000 euro, I think, on MicroStrategy 3X over the 3 different accounts, and I'm down a lot, but still holding. How long have you had it? If you've had it a long time, that sucks, man. When you're doing, how do you have a 3? What's a 3X? What's the 3X? MSTX, the one I'm doing, is 1.75, but what is 3X? Which one is that? But yeah, it's going to be painful. But when we get a nice bounce here, just remember, get out of your multipliers when we do really, really well. Get the fuck out. Also, on that note, we're going to look at a few things. We're going to hop in here. Oh, I feel so much better than yesterday. Compare my energy level today to yesterday. It's substantially different, guys. Substantially. Let me see. There are still fewer Ethereum on essential exchanges than Bitcoin. Some people talking about how Ethereum's going to pump. I think that's probably true. All right, so real quickly, let's switch over here to pre-market. And as we can see, Tesla down. We're still seeing some retrade. We see China down. Like I said this yesterday, everybody's so fucking excited about China. Well, they're already bored with that and have moved on. So if you're placing long bets yesterday on China because you're like, oh, my shit isn't going up, but China's going up, I should get into China. Well, that's not going to work out well. Okay. All right, let me look over here real quick. I do want to see, this didn't turn out too well, so we did break down, but this is actually great because it's turning into a bull flag. Anyway, though, I want to show you something real fast. I want to go over to China, just the HSI. I'm just doing the Hang Seng Index. There's other ones you can look at. I really don't fucking care. But again, down 1.47%, so people have already given up on this play. It had its nice pump. It could go up more, but it requires a lot more stimulus from the Chinese government. Stimulus from the Chinese government acts as stimulus for the world because of outflows, because people are desperate to get the fuck out of China. So, and they're going to use every means they can to be able to do that. Real quickly, while I'm here, we got other stuff to look at, but I want to redraw the map because things have changed, and this is actually, I believe, super fucking bullish. So, and you get better at this just visually. You can see these things after you've done it long enough. But now, if you look here, we have essentially, and I'll probably draw it as a broadening wedge to give us a better idea of what the depth of the downside can be. But could we go down to 59? Could we even overshoot this a little bit and go to the 58.5 range? If you look at other charts, we totally could. But I don't know. This just isn't a big deal. This is just the end of this pattern. And the best part is it's either a falling broadening wedge, which is bullish, or it's just a bull flag. And either way, I'll take it. So good buy zone for right now, guys. If we do fall further, would be starting at like 59. 59 is a great buy zone. I wouldn't get too greedy. So that's the Bitcoin part. Let's keep moving. So again, the heat map. Oh, let me go back here. The heat map, not looking too bad today. Nvidia is still going up. Nothing crazy yet. The data does not look bad. And we do have, what do we have? So we have the 830 with Canada. Then we have 845 with PMIs. It would be nice to see these doing well. It would be nice to see factory orders doing okay. It would be nice to see services doing well. I think services can do well. I don't know about factory orders and PMI. We'll see. How about annoying PayPal? I don't even know what that comment means. What did PayPal do yesterday, guys? How bad was PayPal yesterday? Let's look. How horrific was PayPal during the great collapse of the stock market yesterday? PayPal was flat. And if by annoying you mean this, let's see, what has PayPal done since July, the end of July? So August and September, annoying PayPal is up 35%. Fucking annoying PayPal. Fuck. I'd say PayPal is not that annoying with its fourth higher high and actually managing all of this really, really well. So that's what I think of annoying PayPal. I thank PayPal for being fucking awesome. Now, if you got 2025s, you could still be fucked. If you got that 140 strike 2025s, I mean, those probability is those are worthless. I know, because I have 350,000 in them, or had, and those are probably worthless. But yeah, no, PayPal's been doing great. Angry Jesse is best Jesse. I don't know. I like all versions of Jesse, but I'm just fond of him myself because he is me. All right, Junkrat. Let me go through a few more. Very cool Bitcoin listing from X about Bitcoin in the future. If anyone wants a Bitcoin thought experiment, unchained.com. Which one is that? Interesting. There's like some planets and shit. I don't even know how Bitcoin works cross-planetary. Unchained co-founder launched the Bitcoin astronomy series in the run-up now as we count down. I don't know what this means, bro. I don't know what it means. So I'm just going to move on just a little bit. Let me see here. Annual southwestern border apprehensions. Crossings are down since Donald Trump left office. Yeah, they are. Totally. Crossings are totally down. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see how much down the crossings are? Donald Trump was in here, and like, look at how bad those were. And now since then, the amount of border crossings have completely fell. So thank you, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, for not deliberately trying to flood our country with cheap labor and then positioning them with the companies that you guys are working with through your border app, where you give people a bunch of money and help give them temporary citizenship and help criminals literally come into our country and get paid by the U.S. government to do so. We are so indebted to you as a country. Thank you. All right. Which brokerage do I use? I have a bunch. Ally's my primary, but I don't even know if I like it that much. I'm probably going to flip some of it out. I might put more into Robinhood. I'm about to flip my CLSK to MicroStrategy, taking a huge loss. Ugh. All right, have fun, dude. That sounds pretty emotional to me, Akash. Dennis Neuber, McDonald's and Tesla partnering up. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but very interesting. I saw that Elon is following like the head of marketing there. I don't know if they're partnering up. I think the head of marketing for McDonald's is a fucking genius, because he put 1010 from like a bag and then posted it. And of course, every Tesla motherfucker picks that up and runs with it. So I do think that he's probably following that guy, because he's like, should we hire him? Maybe we should. All right, I do want to look at other stuff. So again, Hang Seng, I told you guys, stay the fuck away. I'm still going to reiterate that, because when you have a market recoup almost half of its losses from its peak in 2017, which wasn't much different than 2007, when it recoups half of its losses, you best watch the fuck out. This is a trade. And again, David Tepper, he's probably out of it already. He's a trader. So he's probably fucking out of it. And Druckenmiller is his friend, but Druckenmiller said, until Xi Jinping leaves, don't do it. Druckenmiller is an investor. That's what we call investing, when you stay out of markets that are dangerous and ill-suited for long-term purposes. Now, if you're a day trader, that's a different thing. I'm not a day trader, so I don't do that shit. Albert says, Akash, 2000, it sounds like you want to chase. This usually doesn't end well. CleanSpark will fly. Bitcoin, yes, it will. I'm telling you, here, guys, just real quickly, just because Akash, you do you, okay? You do whatever you need to do. But here's what it sounds like to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, bro. And you said this. You said, Albert, but I've been underwater for the entire year. So here's the deal, okay? I wasn't telling anybody to buy options on CleanSpark for over a year and a half, or a year. I sold mine, right? Like I bought mine when it was in the dollars, and then I sold out of it too quickly, but I sold out of it. And then I told people to stay the fuck away from options with crypto up until the last couple of months, where I've gotten into it, right? Here's what I see from a technical perspective in regard to CleanSpark that you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on this if Bitcoin goes to 92K. You're going to miss out on at least 105% upside. And most likely 285%, because we already had CleanSpark go to 24, and it takes nothing. If Bitcoin goes to 92, that's like a 35, 40% increase from what it was at last time. Thank you, Green Bean, for joining. Versus this all-time high. And that's actually perfect. So 34% more upside in Bitcoin will get you that 285% return. And that's only a 34% jump from where CleanSpark already was. So if you were way up in CleanSpark, deep in it over here, and you bought the top, and it wasn't a year, right? Let's be honest. If you bought the top, you bought it in March, or you bought it in February, right? So that's not a year. That's like 6 fucking months. Unless, like, otherwise you've been buying the top every time, okay? That's the only way you could be just really deeply underwater, or in options, and that was a bad idea. But to sell out and miss out of 285% upside for what I believe is going to happen between now and the end of the year, I think is folly. You do you, though, man. I won't shit on you. I love you, bro. I just don't want you to get hurt, because you're emotional right now and you're feeling beat up. And that's like the time where you need to be making the most rational decisions. And this is not the time to dial out of multipliers. I just showed you a bunch of reasons on Bitcoin why you shouldn't be doing that. So you do you, but I think you'll regret it. And I don't want to. I won't do an "I told you so." I won't use you as an example. I promise you that. I don't like being mean, especially to people in my group. Stocks intake, unless it's that one bitch, Eileen. What was her fucking name? All right. Stocks intake, so 100,000 Bitcoin by end of year, at least 92 to 150,000. If it's 150,000, then you could be missing upside that is much greater for CleanSpark, like much greater. If it goes to 150%, CleanSpark could probably, I'd say 400%, 500% between now and the end of the year. If we get 150K, that's probably an easy level for CleanSpark. All right, everybody saying morning, smash the like if you want BTC. Yeah, guys, literally, I hate to say this, and some people are going to call me a liar, but from what I understand, if you do not smash the like and we don't get this message out there, Bitcoin will not ever go up again. So I recommend it. Can't hurt. Can't hurt. And if Bitcoin price starts going up immediately, you know I was right. Value Maxi, smash the like. Oh, wait, no, that was you. Jamiri from X, would you go near snow calls right now? Is that Snowflake? Is that Snowflake? I can look at that for 2 seconds, and then we're going to get back to macro stuff. Nate, hey, thanks for joining, bro. Thank you, guys. I think the membership is worth it. I also think X is a great way to subscribe, and I also think Discord is really worth it. I think there's a lot of brilliant people in Discord. Not just me, a lot of brilliant people. Oh, here's another cool chart from Bitcoin. I love this. This pro chart is so perfect for my ADD. I love it. All right. No. Is this show? No, that's Snowflake. Snowflake. You said Snowflake. So let me just look at Snowflake, okay? 29% revenue growth year over year, 128 PE. A net income statement that actually apparently can get worse. It could just keep getting worse. They lost 317 million, not much more than they lost in Q1 of 2024. So they made 868, they lost 324. They're burning down their cash position. Their operating expenses are not getting better. They're diluting shares like crazy. I'm just going to say no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Can I just say no? Let's just say no. We're going to say no on Snow. Now, they're promising EPS is going up. If they actually can start making money, then cool. But just at a glance here, net revenue retention. Revenue retention's going down. I don't know. They're in a growth phase. If this is a real company, they can start turning profits. But I don't like operating expenses. Again, here's the one good thing I'll say. I know I should retract that a little bit. At least the biggest part of their operating expenses is turning into R&D. If you subtract that, G&A and R&D or G&A and S&M aren't going up by as much, which is good. But I don't know, man. Running huge losses like this, I'm not interested in it right now. And it could whip around. Maybe fundamentally they're doing a bunch of stuff that makes the financials look better. But I don't see it right now. All right. So I want to jump over. We're going to look at the dollar again, grinding up. So I said this was going to happen, and we're getting there. I'm actually probably going to shorten the length because we're getting there closer. So I'm going to move this over. So we're doing what I said we were going to do. The dollar's gaining strength. I was hoping it would do it slower. So I can't say I'm perfect on this one. I was hoping it would do it slower and that we'll see it hit resistance up here and then roll over. That needs to be timed with oil. We'll see if I'm right. We could go up above it for a minute too. I don't know. I still think the dollar's rolling over. I think it's rolling over because I still think China is going to need to drastically stimulate their economy. Oh, and the latest boring news with gold that had its breakout. It went all the way from 2,000 to 2,600. Exciting. But it's up 37%. In what? Is it 13 years? 17 years? 13 years. 13 years, guys. 13 years, 37%. Not even beating the rate of inflation. Yay. Oil. Up 0.86. It's going to hit the 200 moving average here. It'll be interesting to see what it does if it overshoots and goes up and then breaks down. I don't know. I'm still kind of like whatever on this one. It all depends on what happens with the geopolitical news, right? Let's go to the MOVE index, bond volatility index. Down a little bit today. We like to see that. Let's go to the 2-year. The 2-year up a little bit today. Okay. I mean, again, this is what I'm expecting, so that hasn't changed too much. The inversion, how's the inversion doing? The inversion, not doing much, just going sideways. That's what we expect. The yen carry trade. Yen carry trade. The dollar is strengthening against the yen. Oh no, scary, scary. But let's look at a few other things here. So again, we do have this though, guys. So on the yen carry trade, we have, going back to July, we have a bearish divergence in the RSI that wants to pull us lower on what looks like a blow off top. And this is on a 2-month time frame. So I mean, to be fair, I probably need to run this back more, but it will look similar, right? Like there's the monthly. And I could even go back to the weekly. What's the weekly look like? Yeah, it's like the same shit, right? So it hasn't changed too much. We also have a bearish divergence down here that's been forming since December of 2023. So the dollar wants to weaken against the Japanese yen. So even though it's went up a little bit, and if we go back over here, so we're nowhere near a carry trade unwinding level. Seems like the carry trade is game on still, and we have divergences that go back, in some cases, almost a year that are going to try and pull the dollar down. So I see the dollar weakening here soon, guys. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's keep rolling through here. I'm going to try and just be as efficient as I can with time today. I'm trying to get better and better at all of that. So again, we ticked over here because we hit another month. We should find support on the dollar here soon, going up, but maybe we break down first. I mean, again, you've got to realize China desperately needs to stimulate. And if they do that, the dollar should weaken against the won. Ruble. Russia's still between a rock and a hard place here. Again, the war is not going good for them, even though there's a lot of blustering back and forth. It's not going good for Ukraine either, just to be clear. A lot of the stuff you hear on Western media is bullshit. They're probably losing, I don't know, Ukraine's probably losing 12 to 1,500 people a fucking day, maybe 30,000 a month. This war is shit. It needs to end. And so hopefully Trump gets in office, because the current administration, I listened to Chamath talking and the All In podcast. And who was it? Oh God, why is his name? Friedberg. Friedberg was talking too. And both of them, even though Friedberg's very liberal, they both agreed that we're literally just waltzing ourselves into World War III. And I agree with that too. We need to be way more strategic. We need to end the war in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. We need to befriend, the besties. We need to befriend Russia again. I know people don't want to do that. Everybody wants to demonize Russia, but here's the thing. We want to befriend them. We want to separate them from China so that China can't invade Taiwan. We want to try and separate Russia from Iran. We want to do things to build a relationship, but push them away, because Putin has been kicked in the fucking nuts from a war that's going to be pushing on 3 years at the beginning of next year. 3 years, and he thought it was going to be 3 days. He's destroying his economy, and it's evident in this chart, because if you take out what's going on here with immediately after the war and then putting a bunch of currency controls in place, their currency is weakening greatly against the dollar. Like this is bad stuff. This is bad stuff. And they can't have this. If you take out this little blip right here and just make it go away, make this go away, they're weakening against the dollar at a rate that they just can't afford to. Their economy will be destroyed if they keep going down the path they're going down. So we need to make them play nice with Ukraine. We need to make them give back some land to Ukraine. Ukraine needs to give them back Russia. We need to create nuclear fallout all over the United States and the rest of the world that destroys humanity. And we need to help strengthen Israel, because they're the only thing standing between chaos from Iran. But we also need to make sure that doesn't turn into World War III, hopefully, too. Hopefully they can be strategic and blow up a bunch of the assholes that are running Iran with pagers. I don't know if you can do that twice, though. I feel like that's a one-time. Stock intake, so 100... Oh, yeah, okay, get down. All right, Albert. Akash. Okay, Dennis. You still have money for the dip. Do I? No, I don't. I'd be lying if I said it. I mean, technically I do, but it's not enough to matter. Stock intake, you make the most money in the most uncertain times like these. I agree. This is the time when everything looks bad, but all the fundamentals, the macro, and the technicals are telling you it's good. Listen to those. Don't listen to your emotions. Chris Camillo was on Amit's show the other day, supposedly annual. Oh, yeah, that guy. Okay. So he's saying like he's got 78% returns year over year. So technically I'm beating him. But to be fair, he has a longer track record. So if anybody's the best out there, it's me. Anyway, but I need to prove that. I need to get 100% returns this year. I had 600% last year. I kept saying 700%, but I was retarded. I meant 7x. Sometimes I'm just stupid. So it was really only 600%. I want to be genuine. But if I get 100% again this year, plus with my previous track record, as you guys have probably seen, well, the people that are new maybe haven't seen it. But again, if we just go over here, cool moments on Twitter, where we at? Where we at? Oh my God, I have too many bookmarks. But if we go over here, you could see, and these are the low balances. I really wish I would have done a better job. For a while during like the beginning, I did a real good job tracking my portfolios like daily. But I just got so tired of the maintenance, I stopped fucking with it. So all I had for record was low balances. So that's just what I stuck with because I was using that as like a moral support cushion, being like, dude, but each year you're getting better. But if I look at my track record here, I'm beating him. I'm probably beating him for the 70 to 80% returns. And this is a low balances. But if I look at like how much I've went up year over year, I'm probably beating that guy. But he's good. He has a different way of doing it. And I think it's brilliant, actually. He uses fundamentals a lot for investing. So Chris Camillo, he'll look and he would go to like, hey, do I want to invest in this company? What are people saying about it? What are the kids talking about? Let's go to the stores. Let's see how they're doing. Are they selling stuff? How do they compare? He's like a really fundamental investor, and that helped him a lot. I agree with his approach a lot. But I'd like to outperform him. His 10-year average, I'd like to blow 78% away. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on it. Sidecar guy, Yahoo says Flux has earnings today, and yes, plus Rex. It was a good video last night. I didn't watch it. Did he have any like quick summary points on it? I should probably watch it. I'm invested in it, and I recommended it in members only video. I should probably watch it, but I have not. But I should, and I will eventually. But let me know. All right, Albert. Gosh, I'm still negative 35% or something year to date and feel nothing. Long only. It's all right. Most of my money is in SoFi, and my portfolio still has shares from IPOE. I don't even know what that is, days. But everything will be fine. I agree. Victor, good morning. Albert, press the like button. Akash, Albert, thanks for the hopium. Hey, dude, we'll give it to you. Don't forget me, too. Don't forget me. Victor. Hernandez, good morning. Albert, press the like button. Akash, thanks for the hopium. Hims, the boner. What did you say about boner? What was that? Hims, the boner company is getting pretty bad. I have cash to buy the dip. Yeah, my poor buddy Adam. I hope he got the fuck out of that. Yeah, that's one too where I've said it could fall further. We can look at it a little bit later. Albert, Israel struck a Russian base in Syria. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, cool. Whatever. I don't care about it. There's probably some terrorists on it. Russia has enough going on. I'm not worried about that. I'm really not. I don't think. Here's the thing. You know what Putin wants? Putin wants Trump in power because he probably sees the only way to keep himself from dying or having to destroy the world from a nuclear apocalypse. So I don't think Putin is looking to start World War III with Israel right now. I think what he was hoping is that the escalation with Israel would divert a ton of attention away from Ukraine, and it has, but it has not from the administration's funding of Ukraine. So it didn't work out, I think, the way he was hoping it would. Okay, thank you for joining, my friend. So I think that there's still, I don't think Putin gives a shit. Dylan, it's probably worth it if you sponsor a $2,000 all expenses trip for me to Melbourne again. Who did that? Who sent you to Melbourne? I'm sorry, I'm missing something here. Cole Megna, initial claims 225,000. Yeah, so we got to that. Stocks, what do you think about Iron Mountain as long as the long-term investment, good fundamentals? I don't know it. We can look at it a little bit later if you give me a ticker. Gary Curette, jobless claims coming out. We talked about that. All that stuff looked good to me, guys. It wasn't the end of the world. Let me do this too while I'm just sitting here. I should actually probably pull up this. Okay, so it looks like got a little rudder on Tesla. I saw something about recalls. Isn't it funny how recalls always come out right away? It's like, oh guys, let's let people know there was a recall, and that 90% of them are actually just software updates. But let's get it out there because now's the time where we can get people to sell out of the stuff because they don't know what the fuck they own. Yay. Welcome, okay. Thank you, Dennis. Thanks for greeting. Okay says, cheers. It's a Russian airport based in Syria. Oh, okay, thank you. Iran uses to transport weapons. Yeah, so that's totally fine. I don't think that's escalatory. That's not even an issue. That's not an issue. I mean, maybe some Russians died. It's kind of an issue, but Putin doesn't give a fuck. Putin does not care about his military forces. He expends them pretty easily. Freedom options. Hey Jesse, I bought 10x, 165 2026 calls when price was at 165, so looking good. My question is, should multiply calls at a higher strike or just keep eating popcorn? Yeah, I don't know, man. I struggled to buy Tesla here. I struggled to buy it here because it just hasn't fallen really at all. Again, like, let's look at Tesla. Let me pop it over here real quick. Let me get it on the right screen to begin with. And again, we got about 30 minutes before the Canadian PMI data, but look at it. This just hasn't went anywhere. We're back testing, guys. I actually think Tesla's going to fall more, and it's okay. It's okay. I want it to come down here and back test. This is what it failed at before, so this is the perfect time for it to back test now. But here's the deal: if you look at this and it back tests to here, there's two ways to look at this. An inverse head and shoulders that's epic and gets us to 490, either in a cup and handle, or another inverse head and shoulders. Either way, that gets us to 350 for our first extension and then 492 for the next. The technical patterns on this are brilliant, and the fundamentals behind Tesla are brilliant. We're going to look at stuff with Tesla in a second here, guys. I'm going to show you how the rest of the auto industry isn't even close, how they're dying, and how Tesla has no competition from anybody, even Chinese EV companies, which are the only real competition you can even say they have. And they're not. So this is all good. This is all good. Franklin Templeton. Yeah, we went over that a little bit earlier, Chris, but I understand you came in late. Good to voice. They're filing for a BTC and ETH ETF. They've got 1.6 trillion in assets under management. We like that, right? We like that. All right, let's keep going. I didn't finish everything. I don't think I did the put call. Are people buying insurance when the markets are going down? Yes, they are. How retarded are people? Super retarded. Most people become very emotional with investing. All right, let's keep going. So I think we got a lot of that's good. We've went over all that. So let's go back here. I'm going to go through comments, but I am going to do this. I think I'm going to monitor Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best just for showing us, little fluctuations in what's happening. So I do think we crack 60K. That feels inevitable. Maybe we don't. We do have some support here. I think we crack it. Putin did endorse Kamala. I mean, of course he did. Of course he did. I mean, that's obviously disingenuous. He does not want Kamala Harris to win. Kamala Harris is more of Biden pushing us closer to World War III and total destruction. So he is going to endorse Kamala because he wants Trump to win. But he wants Trump to win because he wants the war to come to an end. And there's a reason Zelensky already met with Trump, because he's worried that he will win, and he knows that he needs to at least talk to him and figure out what things might look like for bargaining chips and get the conversation out there. But he knows what's happening. He knows the war will come to an end. And here's the thing. I don't even know if Zelensky wants to win back territory and all this other stuff. But I hope he's not crazy enough to think that he can keep invading Russia and there not be complications from that. I hope. Let's keep going here. Oak says, what are you seeing with all this economic data? Is that Trading View? No, economic data is different. The site I like the most is tradingeconomics.com, and they've got a bunch of good data here. The one I'm actually looking at right now, if you go over to indicators, I think it's indicators. No, maybe over here. Let me see. Calendar. Where's the calendar? Is it because I'm in the calendar I can't see the calendar? There's a calendar. I don't know. Oh, up here. Okay. So this is all the different things. They've got tons of data in here. There's a pay for service. I've never even used it because I've never found a need to. But maybe I should check into that. Maybe that would be more valuable than getting that Glassnode $10,000 membership per year. I don't know. I've got to figure it out. But there's so much good data, and they do a really good job dialing in. I love it. I love economic data. Or I'm sorry. No, what's happening? I think my Alexa just did something in the other room. Whatever, fuck it. It's turning things off and on. I hate technology sometimes. Anyway, let's keep going. French EV boy. I want to say Frenchie, but yeah, I could just stop with that. Frenchie says shitcoins are awesome for one purpose: multiply your capital, outperform BTC, and enable you to buy more BTC. Exactly, Frenchie. Exactly. And you don't hold that shit at the end of the cycle ever. But I do agree with James from Invest Answers. You do add to your stack a Bitcoin. And then again, and I'll sell out of my derivative or multipliers for Bitcoin. I'll sell out of. Again, Bitcoin dropping. I think watch for a break. 58.5, guys. 58.5 to 59. Buy that shit if you got money left. Freedom Options. Hey Jesse. Oh, that was you. Granite Shares. MicroStrategy 3X is in the UK. Ooh, that's painful. Sorry, Antonio. I mean, it's good to have the leverage. You don't want to hold that shit for long. So if Bitcoin gets to like 92 or something, if we really rock it and we start to get towards technical resistance, I would get the fuck out of that trade, because the more you have as a multiplier, the greater the theta decay. Chris Federal, you look better today. Buy the fucking dip. I am. Dude, I got the first really good night's sleep. Probably, and it wasn't even that great, but it was like 7 hours, and I haven't been sleeping that much. I've been doing 4 to 5 hours probably for a month. Just trying to do a lot of things and stuff personally in my life that's going on. So I haven't not been sleeping well, but today, I think just sheer exhaustion of 3 hours the night before put me in a good place. And one of the things I'm trying to focus on is my own personal health. I need to do a better job, but I'm really trying to get more fit and get healthier. And I've done a better job with eating. That's helped a lot. David Chapinda, Jesse, Russian base. Oh, that was that one. Antonio... I'm getting closer to caught up here. I have the most money in ISA and my wife's ISA. What is an ISA or ISA? What is that? Antonio, I use trading 212 UK. Production works. Lol. Angry Jesse is the best. I agree. All right. Let's see here. Abad Patel says, when is a good time to enter TMF? Not yet. If you're going to do anything, I would do TLT. I would not do TMF. So let me just show you real quick here. TMF is a 3x multiplier. The only time I would start to even maybe think about that is probably spring, personally. I wouldn't be doing it now. And so TLT, as you can see today, it's down. It was down almost 1% yesterday and then down 0.33. I actually think what will happen, I should draw this out and just remove that one. So I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to go ahead and back test on TLT down to 94. So that would suck. If you were in TMF, you're getting a 3x leverage play towards that, and you've got theta decay. So you could lose like 15% or more. Why do that? If you're going to buy a dip on anything, I would buy it on TLT. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to change this here, because I do want to get notified when we get close to that. I think this is a good range to buy it in. And then I also think let me actually change a few things here. I'm going to do another alert. I'm going to do another one right about here, because I think that's a good alert too. But yeah, so I would buy more towards here, and I would just get TLT for now. And I've been saying that for a while. The share code is LMI3.L, right? Can't find T2. Wow, you guys are getting weird in it. Is that 3X leverage fund? Kamau found it. Thanks, JD. Don't talk any politics. We're going to upset Lena. Yeah, she can't see any of that. Matthew Pollock. Which brokerage? I already said that. Master the game. The majority of Bitcoin gains come in 10 days of the entire year. Dude, isn't that insane? And here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing, guys. Out of a 4-year cycle, it will be like 37 days or some shit. I don't know. I'd have to look it up again. If you guys know the number, throw it out there. It's like 37 days out of 4 years are 90% of the upside. 90% of the upside, 37 days. If that's even if it's 50, why risk that? Why risk that? You got what, 1,500 days in that time frame, and you're trying to we're so close to the upside, and you're trying to time the upside. Like, fuck. Don't do that. Don't do that. Albert, JD, I've missed that stream most likely. What was it? Oh, Lena. She's just a dumb bitch that got boycotted by me. She was on X, so I had to figure out how do you get rid of people completely. So I blocked her. I blocked her from ever seeing my content again, and then blocked her in the chat. You got to do it separately, I guess. Nate says, new member Jesse, can you take a look at hymns? Yeah, I will. I'll take a look at that. HIMS might still have, last time I looked, that valuation, at least for forward PE, was a little high, but I can look at it. It's definitely been butchered. And it looks like the company business model isn't bad. Nate, CEO has been a bit of a knucklehead, but I'm seeing a big opportunity on HIMS. Yeah, maybe. Green Bean, Iron, CLSK, Cypher, HODL, Spot, BTC. Albert, JD, Law, Victor, but if Bitcoin gets that awesome run to 150K and CLSK gets that crazy, would it be smart to sell CSK? Maybe. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I have basically a doubling on my CleanSpark options in regard to because I've got options now. So I'm going to get at least 2x the underlying. I could get almost 3 if we went up to those levels where we go up 400, 500% on CleanSpark. That means I've made 1,000% or more. I'd probably be 100% out of the options for sure. And I'd maybe dial into some MicroStrategy or something else that is Bitcoin related that has a lower multiplier. If I already got that level of gain, plus we'd probably be overbought dramatically on that. And I'm in a tax advantaged account with all this stuff that I'm doing. So yes, for me in my position, I probably would do that, Victor. I probably would. Because 1,000% is no joke. And then theoretically, I might be able to, if CleanSpark went up that high, it would probably drop another 30 or 40%. And so, because it does that, all these do, because they've got that multiplier. So it's like I would take advantage maybe of the dip buying and then start stepping into it again. That's probably the plan. That's enough of a threat, lol. Sammy Lee, what's your BTC price target if we hit a recession? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the government's going to have to stimulate the shit out of stuff. And the recessions, guys, like, first off, that's not really happening anytime soon. And I can show you a bunch of reasons why. And maybe I'll do some of that right now. Starting to get up and caught up in chat. We still have 19 minutes until that Canadian economic data. So let's start talking about a few things. One, let's go back. Let's go back into the Wayback Machine and look at 2008 Great Financial Crisis. The worst humanity has to offer. Let's look at it though, right? Let's look at it and just see how horrible it was. How horrible was the 2008 Great Financial Crisis? How devastating was it? Let's go back. So there's the pandemic. God, I got to use the monthly here. We just got to go way back. Got to go way back. All right. So as you can see, I kind of pay attention to things like this. If you go back, I pay attention to some stuff. Anyway, let's look here. Where we at? We're in the 70s. I went two back. Oh, there we go. All right. So if we look at the 2008 Great Financial Crisis, it was a period where we double topped. So let's pretend, well, first off, we don't even have a double top because we had a breakout. And this double top would like be the shortest in history. And we're finding, like, whatever. Let's just pretend that this is it. So from September or October-ish of 2007. So really before you started losing a lot of money, it was like January of 2008. Look at this. You barely lost anything. January of 2008. The absolute, like, almost really bottom was November of 2008. You were right near the bottom. And the absolute bottom was like March of 2009. So you had like 15 months and then you were climbing out of it, first off. And that's like the worst. And that was before, what happened after 2008, guys? Massive quantitative easing, where the Fed decided we don't want markets to go down anymore. And if they do, we'll just keep stimulating all the time. And so if we go back and see, 2018, they tried to raise rates. Powell tried to raise rates to see what would happen. It sucked. So what did they do? They lowered them right away and they stimulated. And in the pandemic, what did they do? Everybody thought the world was coming to an end in the pandemic. Let's look at that real quick. Did the world come to an end in the pandemic? We literally shut down the fucking economy in the United States. China did it for over 3 years, and we did it in some places for like over 2. But for the most part, maybe a year and a half, across, I'd say a year across most, to be fair, right? So we peaked in February 2022, right into March. That's where it started to drop. We had completely bottomed by the end of March, and then we went straight up. So if we have a recession, that's what's happening again. Massive stimulus. So that's why we're not having a recession, because and people are gonna. There's other stuff we're gonna look at just now in regard to economic data because I think this is a good segue into it. But this is what happened. I told you this would happen. I said this was a cup and handle. And when I said that this was going to happen, you know who liked and retweeted my fucking shit? Actually, this and another one where I showed a channel. I showed a channel. I don't even know why I don't have that anymore, but I showed the S&P and a channel of upside. Maybe I should draw that again. I'm going to draw that real quick. You guys need to see this. People evidently need to see this. So this is the one. Tom Lee really loved this one. He retweeted this one too and said this is what's happening. And when you get retweets from Tom Lee, I might have that actually. I think I put it in my cool moments because you got to put that on your cool moments, right? When you got Tom Lee telling you or retweeting your shit, that's a cool moment. So I'll see here. I'll draw it as a channel for now. And the best way to do that is probably this. I should have copied and pasted, but I try and line this up to make sure that I'm right in line. So, because that way I can get my channel, right? If I'm right in line, then we know it's a channel and it's not like a broadening wedge. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I'm going to put this over here. Draw it kind of like this, and we might not have hit the bottom. Oh, no, we did. Look at that, dude. So maybe I'll just draw it just a little tighter to be accurate. But look at this. So look at this. This is our support zone, right? So if you go back, we've got a channel, and really, I probably should have done this. I probably didn't even need to change that at all. It was probably perfect. It's probably perfect, but we'll leave it here. So we're in a channel for the S&P that goes all the way back since the Great Financial Crisis. And again, we didn't even get near the bottom of the channel. The only time we got close to the bottom of the channel was and went underneath of it to what is, a support zone. You look at this, the 52-month average was the support zone. So like the first one, but if we go into the monthly here, it was the 100 moving average. It's funny how math and science work, like Fibonacci's and all this other stuff. But if you look here, so the 100 moving average acted as support perfectly at that time. Now that did not work out in 2008. That was a bummer, right? But this channel, we're still in this channel, guys. This still acted. If you zoom out again to like the 2-month or the monthly, really, this thing still basically acted as support. This channel. Now, don't get me wrong. See here, this month right here in March of 2020, it acted as support. Now, over here in April, we were already above it. So this channel was support. It was support again over here in October of 2022. That was the time where I said, guys, we're at the bottom. This is still our channel. Look at this. We could actually overshoot between like now and the end of next year. We could see the S&P at 7,300. And here's my segue, because we got more to talk about. Because we got people that are saying, I think I screwed up. I should have made my target higher for the S&P because it's not high enough. But let's listen to this. Seth Golden says, the PE, the profit and earnings ratio, multiple at recession troughs, so at the bottom, since the 70s. What is this? This is 54 years of data. He says, if it looks random, it is. Many use the average PE trough to model in 2022. They were pissed off every time you've done this as an investor because you're wrong. Because look at the multiples. They're fucking everywhere. You can't use this. It's fucking stupid to use this. Now, we're going to bounce around a little bit, but let's talk about the U.S. economy, okay? Let's talk about it. Federal debt explodes on first day of the new fiscal year, jumping $204 billion. Look at what the Biden administration is doing to us. Look at this kind of jump we're seeing right here, guys. We're getting these massive jumps. Look at the debt loads here. Since these guys took office, look at the debt loads and how much it's expanding in the pace. It is frightening. Vote these fuckers out. Elect real Donald Trump. Seth Golden, what does the S&P 500 5-month win streak inform us about the economy going forward? A year later, it tells us that you can't fool the market. This is good stuff, guys. A year later, it tells us that you can't fool the market. I said that a couple times. Let me move forward. Since World War II, kind of going back a ways, after a 5-month win streak, the economy has only entered a recession one time in 1980. So history, this has to deal with oscillation and math and just a lot of things, right? But there's signal in this. It says before that you had to go back to 1936 to find a period where we didn't outperform after a 5-month win streak. That's signal. Let's keep going. We got more. Liquidity is suggesting a strong 10 minutes until that Canadian economic data, and then another 15 after that until we get more U.S. economic data. Peru. Sometimes I fight with this guy. Very interesting head shape. Kind of a cone head. Anyway, that's off topic. But liquidity suggesting strong year of end rally. Fed easy. Peru was a bear for a long time, and he's come around, and I actually like him. I have high respect for this guy. I think he's smart. He said, Fed is easing and liquidity is high. This is likely to ignite strong Q4 rally in stocks. The same thing Tom Lee is talking to us about. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking. Mine isn't great either. That's why it's under a hat. Mine's pretty large. My hat size is like extra large, so whatever. So I shouldn't be too mean to him. But yeah. So anyway. But if you look at this is great. This is signal here, guys. We're seeing the G10 excess liquidity leading indicator pointing that the markets are going to go higher. And this is referencing the MSCI US, so our market specifically, but it's going to look that same probably with world markets. Also, market breadth. Liz Ann Saunders. I love her. Got a little crush on her too. She's super old, though. I think she's older than me. That's fucking old. But she said market breadths updated through yesterday's close. So look at this, guys. Look, since 2022, where we had a trough, look at market breadth. This is the S&P index. The S&P leads. It's the bigger, we know bigger vehicles, bigger vessels lead, right? And then it gets smaller and smaller and it trickles down. Just like water flowing down anything. If there's, pretend like you have large containers. It's going to fill up there really good. Then it's going to flow over to the next one, next biggest container, and then all the way down to the super small ones. That's how liquidity works. That's how risk curves work. So, of course, it is not crazy. The interesting note here is that the Russell has been expanding more than the NASDAQ. So the Russell is expanding more than the tech. That's actually fascinating. But look at this. Market breadth is expanding, guys. It's starting with the big guys. And then it looks like the Russell is coming in next. That's probably just because the Russell was depressed for so many years. But this is good. There's nothing. Percentage of members with PX greater than 50-day moving average. Look at that. Look at that to the S&P. Really, really good. NASDAQ and Russell not quite firing off yet in regard to that. But the the S&P looking beautiful. Looking way better than this trough we saw like about the middle of this year when the markets were kind of, at the roughest point. Also, the whole worry about the port strike, guys. Freight container rates, look at this. Look at this. From the middle of this year, they're down 38%. 38%. So we do have, again, at least a month for shit to work out with the port strike. A week before we start to see really any impact of significance at all. It could be noise. But a month from now, hopefully we know who the president is, and that changes things quite a bit. Also, in regard to the port strike, while we're moving around here, God, my brain is just firing on all cylinders today. I just wanted to show this. So it shows East and Gulf Coast ports by the numbers. So imports and exports, just to give you an idea of what actually moves through these ports. So we import overall 56%. That's a big number. We can actually work harder in the other ports, but this will start to slow things down, right? Exports, 68%, so a large amount of our outbound traffic. That hurts companies that are shipping overseas. Auto exports, 76%. So you know who's getting fucked right now? Legacy Auto. They're getting fucked. You know who isn't getting fucked right now? Tesla. Why? Because all of Tesla's exports really come out of China and Germany. So Tesla, not fucked. Traditional auto, fucked. Pharmaceuticals, 91% of our imports. Honestly, I think people might be better off if we start reducing our intake of pharmaceuticals. So maybe that isn't too much of a bad thing, except for people who really need it. Exports, 69%. Aerospace, 77% of our exports in aerospace. That's probably Boeing. Boeing's getting fucked. Boeing's always getting fucked. But so there is impact here, right? There's impact that we need to pay attention to. I just wanted to voice that real quick. I am going to switch to live here real fast. I want to keep this up so I'm monitoring any videos that might come up that we want to listen to. But we're going to move forward. I'll get caught up with chat in a second. And we got 5 minutes until the next economic data coming out of Canada. But what I wanted to let you know is that, like, we're actually, freight container rates aren't horrible. So don't worry about some massive influx in inflation, okay? That's what I want to keep you away from. I don't want you to just get so worried about that. I also said the U.S. dock workers supply strike thing. This is pretty good. I'll show you. This is actually good. I'll show you this first. This is the impact we're talking about, right? So BizGrad 24 said, I want to say long horsemen has started their strike. This will have a big impact on imports and exports from Maine to Texas. To put it into perspective, the strike impacts 36 ports, 45,000 workers, 60% of U.S. shipping traffic. It's less than that. $5 billion in economic damage per day, and that doesn't happen right away. But I do want to say something. So here's my response to that, right? And they want 77% increases over a period of six years. Here's my response to this. At $5 billion in economic damage per day, give them 100%. Do it fucking now. Give them 200%. Give them a 200% pay increase and a stipulation that they can't have any terms. Like give it to them now. Give them a 200% increase. Pay these guys $500,000 a fucking year to do this. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. You know why? 45,000 times a couple 100,000 is not a big fucking number in comparison to the damage to our economy. And if you make it to where you give them just outrageous amounts of money over the next 5 years, and you tell them they can't lose their jobs over those 5 years, and then you will say, hey, but we're going to automate the shit out of stuff along the way, these people won't fucking care. You know why? They just got an early retirement plan. Fucking give it to them. Problem solved. Jesse just fixed the government. Let's move on. All right. Oh, and that was Kobayashi from yesterday. So we're pretty good there. All right. So let's get back to it. I want to get caught up with comments. We had perfect timing because we have 3.5 minutes until the next round of economic data that we're going to be looking at over here. Let's actually take a look and see what the Bitcoins are doing, and we'll take a look real quickly at the stock heat map. Wow, we're starting to bounce. Oh, dude, perfect. What did we do? Oh, this is so perfect. I wasn't even paying attention, but it's perfect. Where did I say to start buying, guys? Am I going into politics? I guess I should. I'm better than the fucking people that are out there. Well, not JD Vance. God, that guy's a fucking badass. So here's what happened, guys. Remember, did I just draw this earlier? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did it impromptu. And I told you that this was the support zone. And then what did we do while I was talking about other shit? We hit the support zone. We're bouncing off of it. And now it looks like the market wants to go up. What happens if the job-related data and the other stuff that we're getting in regard to PMIs and services are good? If any of it's good, or if it looks like it outweighs the bad, this fucker goes up. This turns into the bull flag that I was talking about. Because now this is perfect. This is a perfect bull flag. And look at that wick off the bottom, letting you know that it doesn't want to go any further. So I literally told you guys where to start buying. And look at this volume candle down here. So I told you where to start buying, and that was it. Boom. Done. Let's look at the stock heat map. And I didn't have to show you anything else to be able to tell you that. All right, Tesla down 3.49. What is that about? Does anybody know of any? Oh, you know what? This is perfect too. Let's just show you why this is going to be fucking awesome. Let's do it all, guys. Let's do it all. So we'll tell you how Tesla is just hitting its bottom. So, well, not yet. It's getting close, though. So, Tesla probably still going to drop more. If we look over here, this is perfect, though. This is just what we want, guys. This is what we want. We've got two inverse head and shoulders that are getting ready to play out. And all we're doing is a back test. And the technicals, the quants, are happy about this. They don't give a shit because here's what they want. They want you to go down to the 200 moving average on the weekly, which is perfectly coinciding with the fib level, perfectly coinciding with the 200 moving average, and then we bounce. So could we go to 238, 237? Heck yeah. But that's the bounce zone, guys. Anywhere from 239 to 237 is the bounce zone. It doesn't even have to go there, but it could. So if you get into the 230s, it's a buy. And you know why it's a buy? Because I just showed you that with Bitcoin, and I'm right. Saw the McDonald Robotaxi ad yet? What? What are you talking about? Shut up. Shut up. Robotaxi ad. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? Are you serious? Let me check. Anyway, guys, this is smash the likes if you think this is the best morning market open out there. Can you guys do that? I work hard for you. And again, you guys, and I can't be an asshole. You guys have probably contributed in monthly reoccurring revenue. I'm honest, so I'll tell you. Over the last week and a half, you guys have given me $5,000 a month. And this is like before everything else, right? And in gross revenue. And some of you haven't done, or have done the mobile route, so maybe it's less than that. But I appreciate that. So I'm not going to act like I'm just doing shit for you and you're not doing things for me, okay? I appreciate you. And that money will go to reinvest into this, and it will go into fixing a bunch of cars that I have to fix for other people. So it will help. It will help keep me sane and happy. So I appreciate you guys. And I know I'm a multimillionaire, so I shouldn't fucking be complaining about any of this stuff. But I help a lot of people. In many different ways, okay? So it's nice. It's nice. I appreciate you guys so much because you help me so much too. You help me keep my sanity during times that are trying. So thank you. Oh, opening bell. We're going to go back just a hair here, guys. We're going to go back. We're going to listen to the opening bell, and then I'm going to look at some of this other stuff here. Did I already miss the? No. Okay. Oh, I'm just not there yet. Let me get here. Where is this thing? 1 second here. Opening bell. I'm looking at my tickers here real quick, too. Now, this McDonald's ad thing, though, you got me tripping. What is that about? Oh, is the volume not there? Oh, yeah, no, it is. Okay, so the opening bell is going to be popping right now.
Great little tidbit from Ryan Detrick of Carson Group overnight. Take a look at the S&P over the last 5 or 6 months. S&P's up 5 months in a row. And Ryan points out of the 29 instances where we have that, 28 times you're higher a year later.
Yeah, up 10 of 11 months as well, I think is also
just more good data from all the stuff I just gave you. Okay.
Pretty extraordinary. Everything you look at that says when the market has behaved this way, what comes next pretty much is reassuring. I don't think there's ever been an all-time high in September for the S&P 500, for example. So all those things are comforting. To me, I interpret them as this is why you shouldn't necessarily expect the next pullback correction to be the big one. This is why the market in general should remain on trend, not we are spring-loaded to shoot higher from this level immediately. So it's, there's a little bit of a nuance to how you want to play that.
Let's get the opening bell here in the CNBC Real-Time Exchange. With the big board, it is commercial retail REIT FrontView celebrating a recent IPO at the NASDAQ. The Italian-American Museum celebrating Italian Heritage Month. Speaking of REITs and at least commercial real estate, interesting piece out of Reuters this morning arguing that the sector...
I actually do want to hear what he has to say. Guys, I just moved my market open on X to the top and asked if you guys could. Just because, again, I want to spread the word. I want to get more people. The more people we get in our group, the more financed we'll be as a group. And again, I'm honest with you guys on how things work. Like, I don't fuck around. But the more we can get those cooler tools that make us smarter, and if you guys ever have tools that I don't use that are better, please to God tell me, because I will pay for stuff. I will pay a lot of money. Again, I'm thinking about still spending 10 grand for a year's subscription for Glassnode just to get real-time data when we're at the top of the bull market. But I've got to do research to figure out a crypto quant can get me the same for better, or some other platform. But if you guys have that stuff, please share it. But if you could go in here, like, comment, and share under the main post, it helps me immensely for getting visibility out there. And the more people that are joining Discord, that are joining X, that are joining the YouTube, that are helping support this, the better our tools are going to get, the better we're going to get, especially if we get really smart people in here that can, again, tell us some of these things. A lot of the good stuff I've gotten is from you guys. And you also... You make it to where you force me into a regimented process where I do the things, I put things out there, and then I feel accountable to do them. Because the bigger the audience, the more I feel accountable to you. So all it can do is bless us. So please put it out there. Let's look at Canada right now and see how they did. I refreshed. They had the number here a second ago, but sometimes this stuff gets weird. All right, so 47 for Canada's S&P Global Composite PMI. Expected 48.4 for forecast. So they're doing worse than expected for the composite. Doesn't surprise me. Canada is very shittily run, more shittily run than here in the United States, because they've just really mismanaged their government. Trudeau is a dipshit. I used to look at him with admiration. I hate myself. Services PMI down 2. So it'll be interesting to see if we have the same thing. So both their composite PMI and their services are in contraction. It will be interesting to see if that continues. If you look here, though, guys, look at this. This is such a horrible chart. So going back to 2021, look at how much they've been in contraction. Since really June of 2022, July of 2022, they are almost always getting worse. Canada sucks. Trudeau sucks. Don't get me wrong. Canada's beautiful. The Canadian people are great. But like when I say a place sucks, I'm usually almost always talking about the leadership. I know. Fucking don't hate me, Anthony. Don't hate me, dude. You got to remember, I'm liberal. I'm a liberal person who's voting for Trump, right? So I'm somebody who's had to turn around a lot, because I'm probably more of a libertarian, honestly. I believe in smaller government. I don't believe in like chaoticness. I want there need to be rules that you need to make sure you're not hurting other human beings. There are some things that are bad. You can't have. I believe in freedom, but man, do you think it's good for people to be on fentanyl sitting in our streets? Like, there's reason within the freedom, but I've gotten pushed to the right, man. I've gotten pushed to the right, like a lot of people, I think. All right, let's keep going here. So we got that data point. It looks like it's refreshing again. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But 845, guys, is the next S&P Global Composite PMI and services data. Let's hope we do better than them. Let's just look here real quick, too. If we look at the composite, how have we been doing? Not bad. I would argue really good. So this is all in acceleration territory. Look at how much better since 2021. Look at us. We're seeing expansion in our composite PMI, not nonstop contraction. And if we go back 10 years, look at this. We are so much more resilient than the Canadian economy. So much more resilient. It's ridiculous. And if we look at the services sector, we're probably going to see even more strength. So, yeah, again, look at this. Contraction, only this small time frame in here in 2022, 2023, and then back in the pandemic. That was it. So we're set up really good. But those data points are coming out in about 10 minutes right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Then at 9, we have the ISM services PMI, factory orders, and everything ISM, basically. Everything ISM is coming out. So we'll get back to that in a hurry, okay? Let me see. What else was I going to do? Oh, I want to go over here. I want to pull up. All right. September, CleanSpark adds 5 exahash in September while lowering fleet efficiency to 2194. Not as good as Iron. Monthly production is 493 Bitcoin. That's not bad. And again, they had issues too at the end of the month, so got to give them a little bit of leeway. Hong Kong 13-day rally ends. Yes, it does, doesn't it? All right, I'm going to leave that stuff up on the side so I can see what's going on with any of that. BTC broke support and dipped below 60. I know, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that fucking great, dude? It's exactly like I called it this morning if you were here. And now Tesla's up 0.1% on the day. Let me go back here. So Tesla's already bouncing. So yeah, it doesn't have to go back down to here, guys. It doesn't have to. Tesla's already bouncing. Let's see if that sticks. Again, the data coming out in a little bit is going to be very impactful, guys. I do want to go over here, though. I want to look at Bitcoins because I do think this is important. Again, and we could go down. So if you look here, guys, we could actually do this. So we can oscillate around, especially if we get shitty data today. We could go down to here before we start to find support because this is like the broadening. And then actuality, you could even do this and give this a full range if you wanted to really see max high and max low. So for now, I'll just leave it there. But yeah, we had a heck of a wick off of high volume too, off this sell area. So if we do get down into this, and I said earlier, guys, I said, this is actually what I first drew. I said we can get anywhere from 59 to 58.5 is a buy zone because once we overshoot this, it's only going to be down for a second. So it'll be very short-lived, and I still hold that. And I still think Bitcoin can go up from here. It's going to be very dependent, guys. But what I love is the increase in volumes. If we can break this volume candle over here on October 2nd, and even more importantly today, if we can break this one, well, this is the 30-minute. Why am I looking at 30-minute volume candles? This is retarded. I'm not even going to put forth the effort into that at all. NVIDIA opinions, high upside? No. I mean, it can do, yes. I mean, I just posted something earlier, and I don't even know if I showed it to you guys. I probably should. Let me do this. I'll show it. I don't even know if I got to it, but it was for, let me just see here. It was for NVIDIA, and it was Jensen Huang. And it was him, just like yesterday, saying that demand, again, was insane. And you know what? Actually, on that, maybe I should look over here. They are talking about NVIDIA right now on CNBC. I don't know if it's valuable, though. I'm going to have to take a look, see if it is. But, yeah, so it can go up. It can totally go up. Right here. Oh, yeah. There we go. All right.
The last 10 years.
So listen to this. This is important. I don't know if this is... I don't know if this is the one from yesterday or not, but this is a big deal. This is the thing you need to realize about NVIDIA. Here's the problem I have with NVIDIA. It's a $2.8 trillion market cap, okay? Outside of that, so its upside is capped big time. You're not going to see another 2.8 trillion over the next year jump into this. And if you do, the entire market has went up a shit ton, okay? But listen to what he has to say, because I do believe this is incredibly true.
Hi, Jensen.
So first of all, the last 10 years, we've been focused on reinventing the computer, getting it ready for generative AI. And what we're going through right now, the first wave of AI, is modernizing all of the world's data centers. $1 trillion worth of data centers being reimagined and modernized to be prepared for generative AI. And a lot of our focus has been in the cloud, in data centers and such. What we're looking at now is the beginning of the next wave of AI, the biggest wave of AI. And this is really about companies around the world using AI to be more productive as their digital employees and AI agents and co-pilots and however people describe them, as well as using AI, generative AI, to revolutionize the way they build their products and the products they build. And so we've created 2 operating systems to be able to do that. One of them, of course, is large language models with NeMo and NIM and all of our AI factories work. And the other operating system is Omniverse, that allows us to represent digital information that is for the world of space-time. And these 2 operating systems are fundamental technologies, of course, but ultimately, in order to drive business impact, we're going to need a transformer, a transducer, somebody who is the connecting fabric between our enabling technology that we build in AI Foundry and Omniverse and connecting it to customers and their business impact. And that's Accenture. I can't imagine a better partner. Julie and I imagined this partnership about 4 months ago. And after that, our 2 engineering teams and research teams swarmed the building of a new platform that Accenture calls AI Refinery that helps customers build AI agents and co-pilots and AIs that help them use tools and access proprietary
Accenture stinks. What do you mean by that, Kevin?
information and to be able to perform tasks and drive productivity. And we're working together across the agents space for employee co-pilots, as well as the metaverse place, Omniverse space for digital manufacturing. So we got a really big partner.
Okay, I don't know if that was the exact one I'm looking for, but it's good. And so another part of that interview was him saying that the demand is insane. I might have missed if he said that because I get distracted by some of the stuff going on my Max Pro. So if he said it, great. But he's also reiterated numerous times that they're going to see expansion across everything in the future with NVIDIA. And I agree. Palantir is green when NVIDIA is... Palantir is most likely up because I think it has partnered with Accenture. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so the upside for NVIDIA is limited, is the only thing I want to say. It's a great company. I think you can do well with it as a steady Eddie. But if you're looking for a lot of asymmetric upside, you're not going to get it because to double, it needs another 2.85 or 2.9 probably now today because it went up a little bit yesterday. Maybe it's closer to $3 trillion to get it to double. And that's a lot of money that could be better used in other stuff. Again, people talk about how there's $6 trillion in assets waiting on the sidelines. So think about that. That if half of it went to Nvidia, there would only be 3 trillion left. Okay, so like you got to understand this. Oh, hey, there's something I want to hear. This is actually CNBC. It looks like 1 second here. Let me go live.
The Tesla. I mean, that's just the big picture of
is out there that one man's margins are another man's opportunity, and how long can you sustain 90% margin?
That's what I mean. That's obviously what it is. And do the buyers have an incentive to try and, to diversify?
I don't know how smart these guys are in regard to Nvidia, but I do want to see this real quick. I want to see this in regard to the other auto manufacturers. I've got some Tesla stuff to show you too, where I'm going to shit on just the rest of legacy auto. We'll be doing that in a second.
So I think that's why you have to, wait.
We're actually going to pause this because we do have more economic data. We'll get back to that in a second. Let me refresh here real quick. Okay, so U.S. S&P Global Composite PMI 54 versus forecast of 54.4 and 54.4. That's fine. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Services actually holding on good too. It's underneath 55.4 for consensus and forecast, only at 55.2. But again, these are expansion levels. And these are not bad numbers at all. It might be under forecast, but they're not bad numbers remotely. I mean, this is a pretty clear uptrend that we're seeing going back since 2 years ago. So those are good. Those are good points of data. We should have. Oh, I got to refresh again. Sometimes this gets weird. So we have more data coming out for the ISM stuff in a second. In 15 minutes. We'll come back to that. Let's get back over to here. And we're going to listen to what they're talking about with Tesla and legacy auto. I just want to hear their point because that might segue me into the points that I want to make in regard to Tesla. Oh, my bad. Let me get over here.
The market's willing to bet behind that.
Speaking of numbers holding up, watch the autos today. We mentioned Tesla and some of the cessations of sales of the low price model. Bernstein's out today.
No, Rambler. I just showed a chart on this a minute ago. I don't know if you missed it, but no, it doesn't. The longshoreman strike really doesn't have any impact on Tesla. Tesla doesn't export goods from the United States in regard to like vehicles. They do almost virtually all of that from China and then also from Germany. So but automakers, 77% of auto exports come out of the eastern ports. So legacy auto is fucked.
Today arguing that they still don't think they're going to get growth, even though the delivery numbers for September were better.
So if anything, guys, and then this guy's a dipshit. I don't think he likes Tesla. He's a fucking moron. But so we'll see what they say. They'll probably have a negative narrative. But yeah, the people getting fucked are legacy auto. Legacy auto is utterly fucked. Tesla is doing really, really, really well right now. This, if anything, benefits them. And if we go back over here, let's just look at Tesla real quick, and then we'll listen to the rest. Yeah, Tesla's flat to up on the day. So if anything, this Shoreman strike is actually a benefit to Tesla. To the 370 here, if you could hit a like, it would be great.
Better than expected. Of course, Robotaxi Day coming up on the 10th. That's just one story. The other is Stellantis.
Nah, it shouldn't impact them on that either. It shouldn't impact them on that. Tesla is so well prepared. They're so well prepared on everything. Plus they get stuff that's coming from South America. They get stuff from North America. They get stuff from the United States. And then all their stuff built in China is built in China. And all the resources are coming from that region for the most part or surrounding. So I'm not worried about it at all.
2-year low, as the CEO there says, market conditions are brutal, especially in Europe, where you got Chinese competition and the prospect of higher tariffs. And then Toyota postponed.
China doesn't have FSD. We're going to be talking about that in a second. And again, so some of the incentives are going away in Europe because they want to hurt China from being able to come in there. Their legacy auto companies are getting crushed. So they're trying to get rid of incentives. But, I mean, we're talking about doing that same thing here. Incentives can go away. It doesn't fucking matter. If you look, I've got some analytics that a friend of mine, AJ, posted that are really great. It's in his updated view of Q3 estimates based on the deliveries that we've seen, the delivery data. It's really good. We're going to look at that in a little bit. But anyway, it'll show you how much better Tesla is positioned than everybody else, along with a bunch of other data points that I have. Let's listen to how Toyota's failing, though.
Postponing U.S. production of EVs amid slow sales.
Yeah.
This so-called EV winter we talk about.
No, it really is, it's a soggy demand picture in general for autos. A lot of it, I think.
Not for Tesla.
It's been recognized. You've had all the warnings that you mentioned.
Again, Tesla actually saw growth again during horrific times. I've got great charts for this, but let's listen.
Even talking about the hurricane is going to actually really impact short-term sales in North America. And when it comes to Tesla, I mean, that's just the big picture of what they're addressing, trying to keep volumes more or less flat year over year. Paid 100 times earnings for that. Well, no.
Fuck you. Fuck you. All right, we're going to look at the earnings chart too, just to show you how much better the valuation is for Tesla right now. Don't forget 1010's coming. There's so many. I got so many charts that make this guy look like a dipshit too. They're all fucking dipshits.
You're obviously always in this stock is this massively overpriced call option on whatever they do next. And that's why I was saying yesterday was a day when people who care about the business fundamentals sell to people who think robotaxi
Right.
is magic. And that's what's happening.
Interesting what's going on in the autos. Was it this week or last that was it Jonas?
I need an automated Mac emoticon for this. One that gives like the middle finger and a bunch of emoticons that pop up at the same time. If somebody can develop one of those or find one, let me know.
Who downgraded a number of the autos.
Yes.
Sarat Sethi of Douglas, is he laying on halftime the other day? He's been a longtime holder of General Motors. He finally sold it.
Yeah.
Called it a terrible investment.
GM, Toyota, Stellantis, they're all failing, guys. They're failing at a rapid rate. And you're going to see in a second why Tesla is fucking destroying them, along with all these Chinese-made EVs. And the Chinese-made EVs, they're fucking trash, too. We'll go into that in a second.
There hasn't been
And by trash, I mean they're still probably better than most American-made vehicles nowadays.
there's a lot of autos sitting around.
That's chronic overcapacity. We've known that forever. There's all these incentives against rationalizing the industry to the degree it might need to. You have all these sort of national champion type manufacturers, and people want to protect it. So.
Although Reuters yesterday citing people familiar.
I did not get an invite to 1010. I am not rich enough, evidently, or haven't been. There's like people that have been shareholders since 2010. Some of these people, like some of the people getting invites are huge. They've been with this company forever. As they grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, it's more powerful people, and it's people that have been there through and through for Tesla for a very long time. So I am not one of those people. I'm not influential enough. I'm not rich enough, and I haven't been around long enough. But I love them, and I support them, and I'm very excited about it.
Your GM will assure investors on next Tuesday, that there's no need to panic.
Toyota's fucked. Toyota's so fucked. They literally just got done saying that they're not going to be doing their EV anytime soon. They're so fucked. And they're building hydrogen cars. Toyota is the worst in the list. They're done.
About decelerating demand for EVs.
It's kind of sad, too, because Japan was so good. They were so good in auto for so long. And just like many things, China's destroyed that for them.
We'll see how much strength there is in that market, which is obviously still evolving. We're getting some services PMIs from S&P Global. Let's get to Rick Santelli on a busy morning. Hey, Rick.
I guess that's all they had. So completely, like, whatever the fuck that was. All right, let's go in, and this is a good segue, though. This gets me into the Tesla part where I wanted to talk about it, and then we'll be looking at other stuff because there's a lot to see, guys. Palantir institutional ownership now sits at 44% per Bloomberg. Interesting. So many things coming across the wire. Let me back out here, though. I want to get to some Tesla points.
Hi, Jensen.
So first of
Not that. All right. All right, so this is a good one. We're not going to go into it yet. We're going to save this for a little bit later. But again, my boy AJ, follow him if you haven't already. He's a good dude. He could use a subscription. I should probably subscribe to him. I'll do it later. But he just, again, gives Q3 estimate updates. They're pretty thorough. As you can see, he delves into a lot here. Okay? And maybe I'll just have a separate video if I go through that. But, so we'll skip that for now. But, let's go down. So Tesla Newswire says, Tesla 2024-32.6 update brings Europe a step closer to full self-driving by significantly reducing nag requirements, enhanced autopilot, no more nag if your hands are on the steering wheel and you're focused on the road, detected via the interior camera vision, Lane changes now initiate as soon as the turn signal is activated without needing to apply steering wheel torque. So they had it. Europe has it shitty in regard to FSD. They have all these regulations that have just been holding them back. So they're getting better. They're getting closer to full FSD. Rep Mike Collins says, and again, this is everything Elon when I talk Tesla, guys. He said, just so we're all on the same page, Elon Musk has provided more rural broadband in the last day than the government could do in 4 years. The government, again, spent over $50 billion between trying to extend out the supercharging networks that they have, or the charging networks. They got 8 stations built, and then they got zero broadband for $50 billion. And Elon, between his supercharging expansions and what he just did in the last day with Starlink, helping out people in North Carolina and other parts that are affected, is more than the government's done. So I think maybe we start allocating more of our capital towards his companies if we want things done right. All right. So this is interesting. It's a chart. Alex said Tesla is extending its global lead in battery electric vehicle deliveries. Never forget that every single Tesla is delivered can turn overnight into a robotaxi. But it shows how the Volkswagen Group is just dying. This is everybody. Insert every traditional automaker in here. BYD is the only company that's remotely keeping up when it comes to battery electric vehicles. Some people think they're ahead. They're not. That's in regard to hybrids that are just like little tiny fucking batteries. That doesn't count. And also, BYD is heavily subsidized by the Chinese government, like a lot. Like to a point where I don't even know that we publicly understand how much they're being subsidized, because they're trying to crush the world's vehicle markets. That's what China does. They try and crush the world and make them dependent upon them. Okay? So if we didn't have Tesla, we'd really be fucked. But since we have Tesla, we've got the fastest EV company in the world. And my whole point here is that these can all, like he said, turn into FSD. BYD doesn't have that. They don't have a FSD, and without their subsidies, they wouldn't be a profitable company at all, and they're barely profitable with them. Tesla doesn't have that problem, and we're going to see that in a few other charts in a little bit. Some of those are actually in AJ's posts, so we'll go, like when we go back and review, we'll talk about it. Again, Boomer Mama, I love her so much. Got a crush on her too. But Toyota, don't tell me why. TM is delaying the production start for its first U.S.-made electric vehicle until 2026. Again, this just shows the demise of all these traditional automakers. They're not even going to try until 2026. Where's Tesla going to be? Tesla delivered 462,890 vehicles in Q3 of 2024, while the competition delivered as follows. GM, 32,195. These are EVs. Ford, 23,509. Rivian, 100% EV company, 15,564 compared to 463,000. 15,000. Tesla has no competition. Also, let's look at their energy watt deployment and put it into something that's reasonable to understand. Some people looked at the chart yesterday and saw that it was lower than the previous quarter. Therefore, Tesla must be failing at deliveries. Deliveries have timing that's very weird. Sawyer Merritt, we'll talk about that in a post we're going to pull up in a second. But I would say that this still looks pretty good. I don't know, guys. I'm not good with charts. Does this still look pretty good? We're in Q3. We haven't done Q4 yet. Does this look like, I don't know, parabolic fucking growth? Tasha Keeney. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. She's got these weird big glasses lately, though. That's not a good look, dude. Not a good look for Tasha. Not a good look. Anyway, she just looks really old with them. All right. So David Sachs said, and this is funny, we're going to shit on Sam Altman because he's just such a piece of shit. The same guy who's like, I don't even get paid. I don't even get money for my philanthropic AI work, is now supposed to get like what, 10 to 15 billion or something from switching a nonprofit to a for-profit, something that should be illegal and that Elon Musk is suing them for. He's saying that if people invest in OpenAI, they cannot back rival startups like Elon Musk's XAI. Isn't that funny? What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. And these guys on the All In podcast literally started off, you know what? Whoa, we got to look at it. It's so funny. It's so fucking good. It's so good. We got to look at it. We're going to do it real quick. 1 second here, guys. 1 second. I just can't help this. This is too good. This is too good. We got to see it. We got to see it. So let me just find it real quick. Wherever it is. 1 second. You got to hear the beginning of this. How many all-in podcasters do we have here? How many of you guys actually watch it? Maybe you've already seen it and you don't need to see it, but you got to see this. This is so fucking funny. I love these guys so much. They're like my brothers from another mother, man. I love them so much. Anyway, let's get into this one. This is so good. This is what I watched yesterday.
All right, everybody, let's get the.
This is great. So this is shitting on Sam Altman, something I just absolutely love. I'm going to take a quick pee break while we do this. I want you guys to hear the beginning of this. I will be right back, okay? Right back, brothers. Right back. Watch this, though. Laugh your ass off. Enjoy it.
Show started here.
Wait. Jason, why are you wearing a tux? What's going on there?
Oh, well, it's time for a very emotional segment we do here on the All In podcast. I just got to get myself composed for this.
Jason, are you okay?
I'm going to be okay, I think.
It looks like you're fighting back a tear. What's going on?
This is always a tough one. This year, we tragically lost giants in our industry. These individuals bravely honed their craft at OpenAI before departing. Ilya Sutskever, he left us in May. Jan Laika also left in May. John Schulman tragically left us in August.
Wait, these are all OpenAI employees?
Yes. Zaharit Soph left on Wednesday. Bob McGrew also left on Wednesday.
Too short.
And Mira Murati also left us tragically on Wednesday.
We lost Mira too?
Yeah. And Greg Brockman is on extended leave.
The enforcer? He left too?
Thank you for your service. Your memories will live on as training data. And may your memories be a vesting.
So here's the deal, guys. You need to listen to billionaires. If you guys don't watch this, you need to listen to billionaires talking about this stuff. It is awesome. It is awesome. This is how you get wealthier is by listening to really, really smart people talk about things. But they proceed in here to shit on Sam Altman. And oh yeah, it's not even done.
Let your winners ride.
I'm gonna speed it up.
Rain Man David Sack.
We open source it to the fans, and they've just gone crazy with it.
Love you guys.
Oh, more macro. My bad. All right, we're going to get back to this in a second, though, because you guys need to know it. ISM Services business activity. Whoa, launch mode. Business activity, 59.9. That's great. It was supposed to be 53. Employment, 48.1 versus 50. That's okay. That's okay. We don't care so much about the employment services part. New orders, 59.4. Fucking killing it. Prices, though, 59.4 versus 57.5 for forecast and 56.3 for consensus. So we see a little bit of some inflation there, but with employment lightening, I feel like this is all good news. Let's take a look real quick. I want to just jump back over. I want to see how things are doing. So Tesla down a little bit, 0.6%. Again, maybe we go all the way down to here. I don't care. Let's see, though. How's Bitcoin doing? What does it think of this news? That's just that. Don't care so much about that. Let's see here. NVIDIA doing good. Let's go over. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably the most volatile, easiest to figure out from some of this stuff. Ooh, guys, this looks good. This looks good to me. I like this. I like the fact that we got multiple wicks under here. It's a short time frame. It's only 30 minutes, but I think this looks great. Now, I do want to show you. Wow, I lost 40 people. 40 people left just playing that video. They must really like Sam Altman. All right, fuck those guys. This is good, though. This is good economic data, guys. We're going to go in here real quickly and look at it. But I'm stoked. Factory orders. I did miss that. Factory orders, negative 0.2%. Transportation, negative 0.1. But we were expecting negative 3.2 on factory orders month over month. And we just barely were negative. And we were expecting negative 0.2 on forecast. And we were negative 0.1. This is all looking good, guys. This is all looking really good. This is really good data. This is good data. Look at this. Look at this. Look at... I said before, this looks like a bull flag. It's a fucking bull flag, guys. Great data, but service... Yes, that's okay, though. Services isn't bad. Here's why services isn't bad. Because services employment is weakening. ISM non-manufacturing employment in the United States decreased to 48.10 in September from 50.2 in August 2024. ISM non-manufacturing. So this is good. With employment weakening, even though prices were higher, we should start to see some of that roll over and help that too. So I'm not really that worried about it. Again, we can go into these charts and look at them in more detail. Yeah, 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 right. I guess they did. 40 people. Either that or they don't like people pissing. I mean, I didn't do it on the YouTube video, so I feel like that's good. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck them. All right, let's keep going. So let's see. Let's check Bitcoin here. Yeah, guys, looking good. This data is good, and the markets know it's good. So let's go back here and shit on Sam Altman. Okay, let's shit all over Sam Altman.
Sorry,
my
guys.
goodness.
And this will only take about five minutes max. This isn't a long. There's a couple of key points that David Sachs makes, and then again, they're just laughing at this guy because his entire company. Well, I'll let him make the points because this is good. If you guys don't watch these guys, you are making a crucial mistake. They're very entertaining, and they provide a lot of signal too.
All those losses. Wow, that
I know.
is
3 in one day.
3 in 1.
And the best part I love about this is Jason is a super liberal. Friedberg is super liberal with science related stuff and renewables and all these other things. And then Chamath is like somewhere in the middle, but leans towards conservative. And then David Sachs is very conservative. So you get a nice balance of perspective here, and they're respectful to each other. I wish more people were like this and didn't try and censor their friends in regard to what does me Kevin have a catheter? Why do you say that? We need an F you Sam Altman exit song. There you go. That'd be great. I gotta find one of those. But yeah, so there need to be more people. People should be like this. They should have civil discourse with each other, not try and say like, oh, I can't talk to you anymore because you're too Republican. I've actually had people that have done that to me, that have warned me that my friendship might be over. And if I continue to talk about the things I'm talking about on X or my YouTube videos, you know what I did with those people? I said, fuck you. Our friendship's over then. Thank you for the warning. Have a good day.
One day. My goodness. I thought OpenAI was nothing without its people.
That's funny because that's literally a statement that Sam Altman said, along with I'm a philanthropic. I only get health insurance from OpenAI. And the nothing without its people is a statement too. But let's watch this. This is so funny.
I mean, this is a great. Whoa, we lost somebody.
Whoa.
Well, come
What's
back.
happening?
Wait. Oh.
Whoa. Wait, what?
Congrats on Palantir, guys.
This is like the
She
photo
stands
in Back.
alone.
It's like the photo in Back to the Future.
Wow, they're just all gone. Wait, oh no, don't worry. He's replacing everybody. Here we go. He's replacing with a G700, a Bugatti, and
I don't think he had a Bugatti. I forget what it was. Maybe it was a Koenig or something. It was like a $4 million car. So he's really philanthropic, guys. All he does is care about humanity. Look at his douchey little fucking face. This guy's a piece of shit.
I guess Sam's got mountains of cash. So don't worry, he's got a backup plan, Chamath. Anyway, as an
Is that how Meet Kevin does it? I'm old, dude. When you get old, you got to pee all the time, okay? I'm just going to, at least with most people. Chris, can you relate to this, or is it just me?
industry and as leaders in
Chris is about my age.
the industry, the show sends its regards to Sam.
Yeah, so he does have, a Koenigsegg Regera. Yeah, he has like a $4 million car. So philanthropic.
And the OpenAI team on their tragic losses, and congratulations on the $150 billion valuation and your 7%. Sam now just cashed in $10 billion, apparently. So congratulations to fan of...
Fuck off, Chris. You could have at least agreed with me.
Friend of the pod, Sam Altman.
Is the
Isn't
round?
that's all
is the round
reportedly
done?
out of some article, right? That's not like confirmed or anything.
Is all of that done?
I mean, it's reportedly, allegedly, that he's going to have 7% of the company, and we can jump right into our first story.
I mean, what I'm...
Yeah, we're going to be going up a lot. I'm not even worried about that. Today's data was great. I think we're getting a bounce back. I do want, and I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe I will just make the comment. No, I think it's right here. Yeah, it's real close. This is they have some important stuff to say about Sam Altman and OpenAI, and I just want to put it out there. So this will take a couple more minutes.
I'm saying is, has the money been wired and the docs been signed?
According to reports, this round is contingent on not being a nonprofit anymore in this case,
We
because it
trust the
aligns
mainstream
with Sachs's interest.
I think that
When we could do a good bit, yeah.
That's mine.
No, I think that Bloomberg reported it based on obviously talks that are ongoing with investors who have committed to this round.
Maybe this
And
is
no one's
longer than I
disputing
thought
it. Has anyone said it's not true?
Maybe it's longer than I thought it was. Anyway, we'll skip it. I'll go back. I could somewhere, but my whole point. Here's my whole point here. is that this guy is a slime ball, this OpenAI guy. I would not, when you have everybody leaving, and his point in this video was, it is really questionable, and maybe Shamath made it, I don't remember, but he said it's really questionable when you look at a company that could be trillions and trillions of dollars of an evaluation, and all the people in it are leaving. All the great people that are in it that made it what it is are leaving, because if they really had something they truly believed in, or if they had like a cause that they thought was great for humanity, why would they leave? If they thought they had good leadership in Sam Altman, why would they leave? And I think that's the point. And again, this shows his character. It shows that he doesn't want any competition, and that's pretty fucked up. Tesla certainly didn't do this. They didn't do this kind of stuff. All right, let's keep going. Sawyer Merritt. SpaceX is providing free Starlink service for 30 days for those impacted by the Hurricane Eileen. And they've given hundreds, like maybe it's 700 now between Trump and Elon Musk. They've given hundreds and hundreds of these trying to help. And I think the government gave like 50 afterwards because Biden's trying to play catch up. Also, Elon Musk saying, and I just want to reiterate this because I'm trying to get, and I've got a lot of good Tesla stuff, so we're going to go over it. It'll take a little bit of time here. But so much good stuff happening with Tesla, reiterating that, in this case, X and Grok AI, reiterating that Grok 3, we're on 2 beta right now, Grok 3 in this next year will be the most advanced AI on Earth. On Earth.
Now, Grok 2 was training with, we call it roughly 15,000 GPUs, and they're H100. So Grok 2 finished training about a month ago. We're doing what's called fine-tuning, fixing bugs and whatnot. So we'll release Grok 2, which will be should be on par with or close to a GPT-4,
Okay.
and that's hopefully we release that next month. Then what we're doing in the Memphis data.
To be clear, it is really close. It's a little bit behind, but it's really close to GPT-4. So he's not lying. Like that happened.
Centers, we're actually training Grok 3. So that'll probably finish training in about 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months, and this video is a ways old. So if he's remotely accurate on this timeline, and here's the deal, guys. Tesla AI has been really accurate. They did exactly what they said they were going to do for the month of September. It down to the wire, but they did it right. Like I even got my Cybertruck. Everybody assumed, well, Elon says September, it's going to be October. I think Elon is very much trying to let this team drive the timelines now. So when he says that this is happening now, I'm actually going to start believing him, or give him maybe a 10 to 20% lag on it, because I think he gets tired of people saying that he's optimistic and always wrong. It probably pisses him off after years and years and years of being that way. So now he's switching it up, and he's letting them drive the initiative, and he's saying, make it happen. But I believe him. I think that by the beginning of this next year, even if it's late spring, we're going to have 3.0 in the most powerful AI on Earth. This is Signal.
And then there'll be some fine-tuning and bug fixing and whatnot. And we're hoping to release Grok 3 by December. And Grok 3 should be the most powerful AI in the world at that. Well,
at that point. Isn't that insane, guys? And we're going to have this just built into this platform. How does ChatGPT compare when they'll be similar in capabilities by that time? And they charge $20 a month, and you can get it for free with X. They don't. That's the answer. Also, I wanted to show you this. This is a Cybertruck tank against another car. So look at this. Can you imagine this? They hit this car. Look at what they did to the car. Look at this fucking car, totaled. Look at the Cybertruck. Definitely scratched up. Might buff. You could maybe buff that out. I don't know. They'll be going after Grok for not being politically correct. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's really wonderful. Yeah, they could do that. But if they lose the election, they can't. So let's hope that happens. And we've got X this time. We didn't have that last election. So let's use it to its fullest to be able to keep people in check. Sawyer Merritt, Texas A&M considering a 2.3-mile boring tunnel to address campus congestion. You're going to see this all over the place. All of his companies succeed. Dan Ives reiterates Tesla outperform rating of $300 price target. He says AI and FSD is worth at least $1 trillion. I agree. It's worth a lot more than that. Alex, OpenAI CEO, again, just more like just showing the non-competitiveness. I think I posted this one first, but the other one was just a lot better, and it came from David Sachs. I said 100 to Sawyer Merritt. It's got Gene Munster saying, hey, he believes there's some concerns ahead, but I'm not actually worried about any of those. But he does say, I have a different view on the results. I see the results for Tesla as a win, given they mark a return to growth for the first time in 9 months, despite multiple headwinds. As for next year's deliveries, the timing of a new model will have measurable impact beyond 2025. Growth should ramp back above 20%. I 100% agree with that. That is what's coming, and I've got some other charts that show you how amazing all of this is. Again, this isn't me yesterday, guys, but I love this so much. This is a guy who's saying that it did it wrong. What did he say? The morning first drive merged into the wrong exit lane, then promptly recovered with a fantastic, impressive maneuver. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So it did correct itself. I didn't have any issues at all yesterday, and there's a weird feeling about driving a tank. It's got air suspension. It's so smooth and it's so powerful, and then it's got all-wheel steering. It's so weird watching it just kind of float through all of its moves. I love it so much, guys. I love it so much. Elon Musk said, very few Americans realize that if Trump is not elected, this will be the last election. Again, that's slightly depressing, but I do agree with it. Also, Sawyer Merritt pointed out here, he said a few things. And again, I think that other graph that I showed you did a great job of showing just how good the growth is this year for the energy division. But he said, hey, this is great growth, guys. Deployments are up 73% over year. This looks like a tick down. That's just noise. He said Tesla's new Megapack factory, currently under construction in Shanghai, will start production in Q1 of 2025, doubling Tesla's global Megapack production capacity to 80 gigawatts. All this huge uptick in the other graph I showed you showing the massive rate of expansion in Tesla Energy is all before that. And he said, note, deployments fluctuate quite a bit from quarter to quarter. Deployment timing depends on many factors, including project milestones, logistics, timing, as Tesla currently delivers product globally from a single factory. It's best to look at deployment numbers from a long-term trend standpoint. And I agree. I think he's exactly right. Let's keep going. Starlink direct-to-cell service expands. Elon confirmed that Starlink will pursue deals with other U.S. carriers and mobile operators worldwide to expand the direct-to-cell service. After a year of exclusivity, SpaceX will expand to direct cell beyond T-Mobile. Starlink will provide satellite internet coverage in dead zones, with the recent launch of 26 satellites bringing the total to 168. Again, this is just cool stuff that Tesla's doing, or in this case, SpaceX, whatever. It's all Elon. Let me go back here. I think I had another good one in here, and sometimes the bookmarks don't sort, so I want to see if I can find it. So again, this one, I covered this the other day, but again, just as a reminder, this says Tesla AI. They said, hey, the last one, they said with a Cybertruck, and just like that, the last fledgling leaves the next. And so somebody said, what about the Semi? And they said, but wait, there's more. And again, we know they're testing with the Semi. We know that they're going to be pushing that out here soon too. I thought I had more graphs, but the bookmarks get weird and I can't find them. So I'm going to move back to questions, and we're going to look at the broader market here in a second. We're also going to look to see if we have any other U.S. economic data. I think we got it all. We got it all except for Fed balance sheet. Tonight, we're going to get Hong Kong's S&P Global PMI. I'm sure that's going to be shit. Tomorrow, we have all kinds of stuff for Friday. We'll get to see stuff going on in India. We'll get to see what's happening in Mexico. We'll get to see what's happening in the United States in regard to a ton of jobs and payroll-related information and unemployment data. So tomorrow is going to be fun for that, but we're done for today. Let's go back over here and look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 60,700. Again, nice bounce. We could go all the way down here, lower, but if we maintain where we're at, guys, then that was the bottom, and we're getting ready to go higher. And what we want really as our first layer of going higher is we want to break past the 61.6 mark and turn that into support, and then we're going a lot higher. So that looks good for Tesla, or for Bitcoin right now. Let's look at the broader market indice. If you guys have additional stocks you want to look at, now is the time to do it. Lots of red, but again, Tesla 0.38%. Not a bad day for Tesla considering all the bullshit that was coming out. And it looks like electronic and technology is doing good. Broader though, the market is still down on the day. I don't think today's got bad news. The Open AI CFO is speaking. I kind of want to see what they're talking about. Let me go here.
Some of that growth. ChatGPT.
I kind of want to see, just after my shitting on OpenAI, I want to kind of hear what they have to say. Sorry. we're going to segue here. And now I'll look through comments and see if there's anything interesting to talk about there too. You guys are usually pretty good about that. Let me hit the back button a bunch of times. There we go. We're going to go ahead and play
Raising
this.
$6.6 billion, one of the largest ever funding rounds.
So they raised $6.6 billion. I think they were actually looking for more than that.
Hey, Carl, good morning. We do have some news to break before we get
Definitely hims. Definitely hims.
of the $6.6 billion equity raise. OpenAI has raised $4 billion in a revolving credit line.
Real quickly, before I get to that too, there's something I'm forgetting that I should go through. Over here, I'm just going to look at the watch list for all the stuff we own and see what's winning and what's losing. Looks like the shit coins are losing today. Chinese stocks, India, were down overnight. Solana down again, 137. Clean Spark, a lot of Bitcoin related stuff. It looks like PayPal down 1.2%. Dow Jones Transportation, Mara, Hood's down, but Hood had a great day yesterday. Tesla's down, not a ton. I actually think, I don't know, the market should be going up. That was great news. I don't know why it would be going down. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the pitch is. I think we're going to close today higher. Palantir doing great, up 3.2%. Oil up 3.31. Is there more Middle East shit going on? Do you guys know? MU options. I haven't looked at Micron options. I just bought more Sol. Great entry point for sure. We can look at that too. MU up 2%. Great. Ooh, I have MU. I could sell MU. You guys just gave me an idea. I think I might sell Micron right now. Interesting. Block is up 0.5%. Flux is up 3%. So again, those videos from Rex doing their job. MU. How much do I own? I own $20,000. All right, so I own $20,000 less dollars in MU right now. As I sell that to buy other shit. See, this is why diversification is great, and why having things that perform in different ways is great. Because I forgot I had MU, and I sold that now, and now I can use that to buy Bitcoin shit, which is awesome. I sold my ARGT to buy Bitcoin shit, so I'm gonna look. Let me see, what do we got here? What should I buy today? What got really crushed? I'm actually probably gonna load up more on MSTX. I'm gonna get more MSTX today, guys. We're gonna buy the fuck out of MSTX. Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. All right, just one sec. I'll get this trade done. Let's say like 580. Is 580 enough? No, probably not. Let's say 780. Trying to do math here in my head. I'm trying to figure out what allotment I can purchase. Ooh, I was close. Let's say 750. 750? Oh, really close. Let's say 740. 740 shares. And then we'll listen to this lady from the one person who has not left OpenAI. All right, that's closed. Let me go ahead and get a post out for subscribers only. And eventually I will, I'll probably not talk about my trades in here because I want to get more people subscribed on X and Discord. So I probably won't do this in the future. I won't let you guys know what I'm doing in the video because, again, I want to get more people supporting the platforms so that we can make a bunch of money in the future from all the cool tools that we have. So let me get over here for now, though, and tell people that things are good. All right. Let me do that same thing over on Discord. And I'm just going to while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and play this video by the OpenAI CFO.
Brings the liquidity total to $10 billion for this round. One of the largest private fundraisers we've seen in Silicon Valley history and the largest credit line. So, of course, joining us to talk about all of that is OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Friar. Great to see you, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about the news that just broke as we went to air. You are raising debt in addition to $6+ billion in equity. How did you think about the cost of capital, and talk about why raise debt in addition to billions of dollars in equity here?
Well, thank you. It has been a great last couple of days. So $4 billion in the revolving credit facility. It's undrawn at the moment. And that's really to give us flexibility with the business, particularly as capital needs might shift. We just want to know that it's there for us. The $6.6 billion in equity, now that's really about how do we go invest in the business from here. And I think what investors saw were three things. They saw the vision. OpenAI has really led what AI can be, what AI will be. ChatGPT.
I will give them that. That is definitely true.
Kind of set that clock going about 2 years ago. I think secondly, they see focus. We are focused on native AI products. So we just released O1 Preview, as you know, the only model that really stops and thinks before it responds to you, and then advanced voice mode. So now you're interacting with this technology.
That new model is kick-ass. So it actually does iterations, guys. It looks and says like, oh, okay, I've got this question. How should I try and respond to this question? And what should I do? And then it iterates off of that, and then it pulls up data. It literally is thinking at multiple stages. It's cool.
And the way we are right now, super fluid. And then finally, the scale. We led with numbers as we talked to investors and to the banks. And what they saw was 250 million weekly active users. In fact, I just checked before I arrived. We released 200 million weekly actives right at the end of August. So in just a month, that number is up by 50 million. Wow. And so they saw the numbers as well. So we now have great investors, the best banks in the world, really joining Team OEI.
I was going to ask you about some of that growth. ChatGPT, for example, you mentioned the 50 million users in just the past month or so. Talk about some of the growth and the forecasting that would justify really doubling your valuation and that $150 billion. What's sort of justifying that?
Right after this, we'll do stock requests. So I'll go back and start looking at those guys.
That number. Talk about some of the revenue growth that's behind that.
Sure. So as you can see with the user numbers, we've seen exponential growth, right? This is all done in about 2 years, which blows my mind. I've never seen anything like it in my whole career in technology. It's consumers, so a lot of that is ChatGPT Plus, but it's also businesses and even the smallest of businesses. What I look at in our enterprise business is we now have customers all around the globe, and we're absolutely revolutionizing industries like education and healthcare, right? These models can work on the toughest problems in the world. And of course, that's been backed up by revenue. Investors are not going to invest at a $157 billion valuation unless they see it starting to come through the business model. And I think that's what they got excited about.
And some new major investors on the cap table. NVIDIA is one that caught a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about their involvement and then some of the skepticism that the money that you're raising from NVIDIA, for example, is funneling back to their chips in terms of you guys buying chips that really returning to them in some ways. How do you address some of that skepticism and criticism?
Sure. So folks like NVIDIA, Microsoft, these are incredibly important partners in our ecosystem. I would actually say our relationship with Microsoft, if I start there, has been a generational partnership. What Satya and Sam saw together was incredible when you think when they started to put that investment together and put the partnership together. NVIDIA is another incredibly core part of that, right? What they're doing with GPUs, what they're doing in the tech stack, is what's enabling a lot of this. But it's not just those two. It is a much broader ecosystem that's forming. And I think this is what's also important about the fundraising we're doing right now. And as we continue to grow, is we're bringing along a whole ecosystem. Sam talks about this as the age of intelligence. I think of it as how then that becomes an age where it lifts people from a prosperity standpoint. We joked earlier, I'm a European that masquerades as an American. I really think long and hard about how this technology is going to go into the world and how it's going to lift people, generally speaking, by providing everyone with human level intelligence.
Sarah, Morgan's got a question for you, Sarah.
Sure.
Thank you. Sarah, it's great to have you on the show.
I do agree with like Chamath and David Sachs and others too, that AI is going to be so commoditized, it'll be hard to make profits off of it. The energy expenses for AI are so incredibly high, and it's going to be one of those things where every major player will offer a service. So I do think it's going to be hard to commoditize and make a bunch of money off of just because of the sheer amount of energy needed for it. And the fact that this is just going to be a commodity everybody has access to. Again, Apple Intelligence, whatever it is, Siri, all these things are going to incorporate AI, and it's going to be a part of the basic services. It's important to know that. So if you're looking to make money off of investing in OpenAI, I don't like the odds, especially going against Grok at the end of the year. If they get Grok 3 out, I don't like those fucking odds.
And appreciate all of the insights here, given this major funding round and the news that just came out this morning. I'm curious about the competitive landscape here, because it's been pretty well reported in the last 24 hours.
So Sela said, provide everyone with human level intelligence. Damn, they won't even try to educate the kids anymore. I'll argue that they haven't tried to educate kids in the United States for a very long time. All they do is teach people to memorize information, which is a horrible way to learn. They should be teaching them critical thinking skills. They should be teaching them how to be able to use tools that are around them to be able to determine what's good and what's bad and what's accurate and what's not. And that is something that I don't see anybody really trying to do in our educational system. It's mostly indoctrination and just memorization of shit, which is why I hated school, which is why I only went to high school for a year and a half before I dropped out, and why I never really went to college. I got an associate's at some network administration thing, but really, I think all that stuff's bullshit. I think the traditional education system is bullshit. I think that these tools will enhance our ability to be able to find the truth as long as they're free, as long as they're not controlled by the government, which is why it's so important that we have the right people in power.
That investors into this funding round had stipulations attached, meaning that they couldn't necessarily invest in other competitors.
After this, we'll go into the stocks.
Like Anthropic and XAI and others. Is that actually the case? And if so, how does it speak to how OpenAI is thinking about the evolution of this competitive landscape?
So first and foremost, we really want to make sure the ecosystem continues to develop from here. Look, we are in such the early innings. I was listening to someone talk about, how much of what we now think of as the market cap of the internet existed about 2 years after Netscape launched, and it was about 1%. So if we think about 2 years after ChatGPT launches, are we just at 1% of the market caps that will be created? In terms of this round, look, we want to make sure our investors are really focused on OpenAI, but of course they're going to go out there and invest in the ecosystem, and this round is no different from any other round.
Yeah, we just don't want them to invest in competition, but of course we just don't want them to.
In that regard.
We've also seen quite a few high-profile leadership changes this year.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Joining the company, but also quite a bit of management turnover and high-profile departures as well. How disruptive is this, or should we be thinking about this as a new chapter? And if so, what does it say about that new chapter?
I think it's like any company I've been at. As they evolve, the leadership tends to evolve, the people at the company tends to evolve.
Why would all of them leave in the opening rounds of this company? That is not like any fucking other company. I'm sorry, guys. If you know anything about VC, people don't leave before the big payout. That isn't normal. That isn't normal. That's either Sam Altman being a greedy piece of shit and pushing them out, or they literally fear for what's happening in this company and don't want the future to be a part of it. So this is not normal.
And that is usually a very, very good thing. It's not to say that the folks who were here haven't built something incredible. Like I keep saying about this round, people congratulate me, and I'm like, no, this is congratulations to you. I stand on the shoulder of giants, literally. And so those folks who have been with us on this journey so far,
that are getting completely fucked right now.
This is a huge testament to what they've built, what they've discovered, something just truly unique and different in the world. But is the company going to keep evolving from here? Of course.
I'm sorry, Kyle Wright says the former NSA director, Paul Nakasone joined OpenAI's board of directors and is also a part of their safety and security committee. What does that fucking mean?
When your valuation is lifting the way it just lifted, when your revenue is lifting, and more importantly, when you're starting to see customers come.
Chris Fitterell said, President Biden says strike on Iran's oil facilities being discussed with Israel.
At the scale of...
Hopefully we're not participating in that. We in no way should be getting into this war. In no way.
250 million weekly actives. You're going to...
I didn't get CLS calls today, but I did buy, I did sell 20,000 in Micron, and then I bought 20,000 in MSTX, the 1.75x MicroStrategy. I still have a lot of calls, so I was trying to diversify my risk.
Have to keep adding to that base here at the company.
But I probably will. If it goes down, I will. It just, today, MSTX looked like the best bet for me.
growing very, very fast, but we also want to make sure we use our own technology as well.
Can somebody confirm? Chris said it appears we're getting involved on striking Iran's oil facilities. Why the fuck would the United States get involved? Because then you have Iran and Russia that are partnered with China. That gives China the okay to get involved too. Why the fuck would we escalate? I hope to God that's not what we're talking about. I hope to, yeah, paying for it maybe, but we should definitely not be involved on any attacks against what's going on in the Middle East right now. We should not. We should be defense, sure. Attacks, no more war.
I was talking to Sam yesterday and just saying one of my goals is how do we create the company of the future using this technology, and it's going to start right in my backyard. So I want to create the finance function of the future using a lot of our own AI tools.
And Sarah, OpenAI notably started as a nonprofit. Was that part of this deal that the company needed to convert to a for-profit? And when should
they're going to be a B Corp, which is basically a C Corp, but they throw in some stuff where the people on the board are accountable for whatever the mission is. It's bullshit. It's just a way. This should be totally illegal. Elon should win this lawsuit.
We expect that conversion to happen.
Yeah, so we have discussed this, that we are looking into how we restructure from here. But I think as we do that, a couple of things have to hold absolutely true. Number one, we're an incredibly mission-driven company. The nonprofit is really vital to that. And
but you're turning into a profitable company. How are you mission-driven? What the fuck?
The mission of the nonprofit and the company is to make sure we bring AGI to the benefit of humanity. So really,
yeah, I'm sure that's why everybody is leaving the company right before the big payout. It's because they think it's benefiting humanity. I'm sure.
Important, bringing AGI, but thinking about the benefit side to all of humanity. And then beyond that, we just want to be kind of a more traditional company. Why make things complicated that don't need to be complicated? We need to make sure we can continue to get investment so that we are a sustainable, long-term participant in this ecosystem. And we want to make sure it's a company that works for all of our stakeholders.
I love that OpenAI is getting $157 billion for its valuation, and xAI is only getting 24, even though by the end of the year it's probably going to be the better AI. I love that. It says a lot about everything Elon touches.
What about Sam Altman? Speaking of stakeholders, there's been a lot of
questions. And people think that it's worth 157 billion and X is only worth 24. I love that. I love how stupid people are.
Questions about how much equity he's going to get. I know there's been some pushback from the company. Can you give us any clarity on what his equity stake is going to be and just the financial side?
Sure. I mean, nothing I can disclose here. Our chairman of the board, Brad Taylor, put out a statement last week saying there have been conversations with the board, but nothing has been set in stone right now. Sam is so interesting. Look, he is so driven.
So
he
interesting.
Said it well. He's like, if you can't imagine why I would be so excited to just be bringing AGI into the world, you've kind of missed the whole kind of line of thinking here.
What about profitability? You have helped take two massive companies public. You were the CEO of Nextdoor and helped take Square public.
Yeah.
How are you thinking about profitability? And is there any pushback from investors on wanting to get?
They will not be profitable at all.
Get there, some sort of profitability in the near future.
Honestly, Llama is a better AI, and well, it will be. And here's the thing: it's all open source. Like, there's going to be so much fucking competition. This will not be. This is a horrible business venture. If anybody's getting into this, you're making the wrong choice.
It's always a balance when you're growing, particularly a tech company where you see a massive TAM in front of you, because you want to go fast, and that means investment. That said, you want to make sure you're growing wisely so that you're not overextending in places you shouldn't be extending. To me, we are here to build a business model, and that means creating free cash flows so that we can continue to invest in the technology that we're bringing to the world. We want to make sure everyone has access to this human-level intelligence to solve difficult problems. So think of profitability in the spirit of how do we continue to grow that investment piece rather than just profitability for profitability's sake.
What about an IPO? When will OpenAI go public?
Definitely not announcing that yet. You need to give me a little bit more time and seat.
You did just get here. No, I think that is a big question, though. I mean,
all right, I already hate her, and I'm tired of listening to this, so we can move on. It's just bullshit. All of it's bullshit. All right, let me see here. Hims getting destroyed. Let's look at Hims. Shit, it's already 9:40. When did I start? 7? Have I been doing this for almost 3 hours? Fuck. We might have to save some tickers for later, guys, but I'll try and get through a few here, okay? I didn't realize how long I'd been doing this. All right, so Tesla's still down 1.7. Let me just check Bitcoin real quick, see how it's doing. Let me go over here. So a lot of things red. I don't know why the markets are red. It must be the Middle East attacks, because the economic data is just not a big deal. It's got to be the Mideast attacks. It's got to be a threat of escalation where people are worried. That's the only thing I can think of, because the economic data was good. So if we can get these threats in the Middle East behind us, and well, I mean the port strike too, right? It could definitely be that. We've still got two things to get behind us, but the economic data is good. So we know reality is looking decent. So the real question is, what is going to happen with the Middle East? What is going to happen with the port strike? If we can get those things, and the election. So we still got three like contentious. It could still be a weird month. I think that's the gist. HIMS is down 14%. Holy what? And pre-market trading resolved after the FDA resolved the tirzepatide injection shortage, ending the permission for HIMS and hers and other generics to sell the drug. Oh, so they can't sell the drug? Is that what it is? Ugh, HIMS has just had some bad luck, man. So they're down 36% from the recent high. And again, they bounced off support at this fib zone down here. So could they go higher? Let me see here. There's probably a better short term. I mean, it just depends if they're done falling yet. This is not a great looking trend because it almost looks like a head and shoulders. Like, let me show you this real quick. Let me just draw this out. And then I want to look at the financials of the company and just confirm that I know where, yeah, they're talking about the China rally fizzling now in CNBC. It's funny how short-lived things are. So this would suck right here, okay? Because if we really have something like this, and let's say that, like, this could get ugly. Look at that. Look at that valuation on that. That could get real ugly. That does not have to happen. They're obviously getting bad news today. It's down 13.5%. But let's look at the financials and just see where we sit on them. And Silas said something, too, I was going to respond to. What was it? It was about the schooling thing. Oh, I think you were just saying that kids can't read, write, or have critical thinking skills, and that you were in Maryland and that it's really well funded. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Here's the thing. I don't care if kids know how to read. I know that sounds stupid, but I want them to be able to listen and read. I mean, obviously they should be able to read, right? But I don't care if that's their primary method of ingesting. They could watch videos. They could Palantir pumping on war. Cool. That is cool because that just helps my thesis of Palantir is a good investment for war. I don't think we're at a time of war though, so I don't know that it's going to end up. It'll probably just go back down again, but it's good to know that we're getting some confirmation of the thesis. And they've got other good news though too. All right, but real quickly, what was my thought? Oh yeah, so on the educational thing, it's like I don't care as long as they can ingest information and have critical thinking skills. I don't even care if people could write. I think writing is I think in the future we interact. I'm very much with Shamath and other people. I think we end up interacting with devices and we interact with AIs that query information for us. What we need in our brains is to be inquisitive and to be critical thinking and to be able to work with these technologies in order to be able to identify things or have them identify things. And the reading and writing is going to be way less important in the future because they're like old methods of interaction. They might be really needed if we give ourselves a nuclear apocalypse because you might need other ways of communicating if all the AIs are dead. But that's another problem. Here's what I don't like, guys. The forward PE on HIMS is 45.87. It is rich. Yes, they've got subscription growth, revenue growth. They've got a positive net income. All these things are good. They're still diluting stock away. It's good that they have growth. They're seeing increased institutional ownership. They have a high amount of short interest, so the shorts are winning today. They've been selling more than buying since 2022, insiders. So they're not like, oh, the stock is super undervalued. Now they are saying their EPS is going up and their revenue estimates are going up, but my worry over the short term is the PE is 220 even today. So unless we really see net income going up and earnings going up, you could still see this thing drop more. So I don't love the stock right now, guys. I think it's a little dangerous on HIMS. Where the fuck was that? Back over here, like this one. Yeah, right over here. Okay, great. So again, and maybe it stops right here at 1365 and it finds its bounce. But with that kind of PE, I mean, it could get cut in half. It could do something like this is probably a more accurate picture, maybe even just to here. It could go to $10 and be close to fairly valued, unless their growth really picks up and they do really well on their EPS like they're talking. And if they get any more bad news, it could suck. Remember, if we look down here, guys, at the weekly, we've had a bearish divergence, a wicked bearish divergence on the MACD going back, to when? April. And then we also got, I mean, really, look at this, lower lows. There was a lower low here. So really, we've got like this, right? And then we got another one that starts like right around here and then goes down to here. So really on this one, for bearish divergence on the RSI, we're going back to January. So I've been talking about this, that this thing was overextended and the valuation was too high, and it's just coming to fruition. It's just not great. Main stage news behind, but I'd love it if you looked at Solana. If you haven't, I think I should look at Solana because people were saying that it was cheaply valued. So I'm going to try and get through a few of these. I know I've been behind, guys, on the ticker symbols. I'm going to try and make up for that tonight. Do I have a good soul chart? Do I not even have? Oh, good. I was going to say, do I not have a soul chart? I know I need to build shit out, but geez. Oh, this is great value. This is great value. This is really good value. So just to get to previous all-time high on Solana for what it was at earlier in the year, it is almost a doubling. And then if we get up with Solana, if we get up to, I would say the 92,000 range or above, like if we push to 100, there is a really good chance. What is this? Solana is a much smaller market cap. It can move a lot more aggressively. Now, this is probably too much. It's probably too much to go to there. That's a doubling. So if we get to like Bitcoin 120K, where we double, right? I could see Solana easily going up 330%. And it doesn't even have to, if it gets to 120 or something like that, we're probably looking at Solana near 600. Because, again, from its previous high, and don't get me wrong, there's hype around this, it's a 124% increase for Solana to double from its previous high, or 124% to get to this fibs, which is a little more than doubling what its previous high was. But if Bitcoin goes up 100%, that math lines up. And so I think if we get to like maybe 120, 130 on Bitcoin, you will see a 330% return in Solana, bare minimum. So I think this is really good value territory. Look at how many times it held support here. It did it in such a strong fashion, and the moving averages are pushing hard up. And again, we're not staying down for that long, guys. Maybe it's a couple of days, and then we go up, and then we retrace again a little bit. Or maybe we chop sideways again for the rest of this month. It doesn't fucking matter, because by that time, we'll probably see the port strike done. We'll probably see, hopefully, some calming that's going on and between Israel and Iran. Because eventually all the bluster is going to slow down. It's just how things work with all of this. If you go back and look at historically at times of war and when there's threats, you buy those dips. And then also the election in 4 weeks. So we've got so many things that can end up pushing us higher. So I just want to reiterate that it's definitely something where we can get a lot better in the near future. Iran exports most oil off of offshore terminals, so it's very easy to cripple their industry for years. That's great. Do it. Cripple them. Here's the thing. I know why the U.S. doesn't want to do it, but the U.S. is the largest exporter of oil on Earth, or the largest, I shouldn't say that, largest producer on Earth. So, I mean, the worst thing Biden would have to do is maybe, again, open up some pipelines, some stuff that we really should have done a long time ago and that Trump's talking about doing now. But we could control the price of oil pretty good here in the States. We could just start producing more and open up pipelines that should be open. So there's things that we can do, and we don't really have the issue on our end. It could bring up global oil, but we don't necessarily have to buy from the rest of the world. We do it because we have agreements. But we could be fully sustained if we needed to, especially between LNG gas, which we've done a really good job of expanding on. We're taking advantage of what's happening between Ukraine and Russia because we're the largest exporter of LNG gas on Earth. And then at the same time, we become the largest oil producer on Earth. So things just aren't as bad as they used to be in that regard. Here's the thing. If Israel wants to do that, they'll do it. They'll do it. Do you think they're going to respect Biden? They haven't respected Biden. Iran hasn't respected Biden. Russia hasn't respected Biden. Nobody respects the current administration. They certainly don't fucking respect Kamala Harris. So they're going to do whatever they want to do. Let's look here. Yeah, they could cripple him. They could totally do that. Oh, just sold my NVIDIA for 1,400 profit. We'll put another buy order at 110, 115. They've done really good. Let's look at NVIDIA real quick here, too. We haven't looked at that chart in a while. And I might cut it, guys, by 10 because my dog, for people that were asking, I do have an appointment for my dog at 10:20. So she should, hopefully we'll get a better idea of how she's doing at that time. So about 30 minutes from now, she's got her appointment. So NVIDIA, again, getting a nice little bounce here. It looks like it did. So it did find great support over here. Previous support broke down, went down real low, broke up. Sounds like you rode it pretty good here, bro. And then it back tested now, and then it came back up and above the fib. Now, I think NVIDIA can keep going up. But to take some profits to get into something that's asymmetric does not sound crazy at all. It does look like it found support this time around on the fib after finding support here. So this all looks good. This is a good looking chart. You can find this on Discord too, guys. And again, you cannot find the charts on X. Charts, you'll get specific information that will probably be more timely than the Discord. And you'll get subscriber-based posts like the trading. That in the future will probably be much more timely than the Discord. The Discord is going to be a repository, and it's going to be a way to communicate with each other, and it's going to be a way to find all my charts and what's going on. But I'm trying to make it to where both X and Discord are the most special and better than the rest. And then if you wanted a $2 subscription with YouTube, for $12 in total, you could have all three. That's the goal. And I want YouTube to be the least valuable. All right, let's read here on X. Sound, none there. Sound, none there. Mr. Monkey E. I'm not sure what you meant by that. OK says, Silas, all their offshore terminals are concentrated on one small island. That's insane. That's good to know. Thank you, guys. See, I love it. You guys know, collectively, we know a lot more together than I can ever know on my own. So thank you for that, for you guys talking back and forth. Alvaro Rojas, there is a full moon at mid-month. Usually markets reverse trend after it. Isn't that weird? But there is some truth in statements like that. Austin, not sure Biden is even making decisions. I don't think he ever was. I thought initially during his presidency he was. That's why I voted for him. But I think he might have been a puppet for a long time. Okay, not only that, Iranian oil is under sanctions if there are no terminals. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. They're under sanctions, but if there's anybody that's probably going to be hurt a lot more, it ain't going to be us. If there are no terminals, countries buying Iranian oil in the black market will have to find alternative suppliers. You know what? Watch, we'll start exporting more oil. Russia, that would actually, the bad thing is it would help Russia. It would help Russia because Russia is under sanctions too, but India and China would be forced to work with Russia to get more oil. And that's probably not something we want right now. Daniel Dibb, breaking. Pete Buttigieg announces private drones are restricted from flying over hurricane areas. This prevents civilian volunteers from locating victims in need. Why the fuck would he say that? Why the fuck would he do that? That is the stupidest shit. You're not going to let people try and help with the disaster at a time where you need it? What a fucking idiot. What was his reasoning? Does anybody know? Silas, question is why they will go after the nuclear for that's the need the U.S. support. They don't need us at all. They could totally wipe out all the nuclear facilities. They don't need us at all. Israel is so advanced. Israel has at least 500 nuclear weapons themselves, not to mention all the military equipment we've been selling them over the years. They are easily the most advanced military in the Middle East. Oh, I wanted to get some cash for better opportunities. Back to 20. Okay. Silas, yes, indeed. Okay. Kaylin Bedford, 1010, McDonald's is a chicken Big Mac, not Tesla collab. Here's the thing. There's a reason Elon followed that guy, because the guy's a marketing genius. He literally said, you know what we should do? Let's piggyback off of what is happening with Tesla on 1010, and let's get people buzzing about it. And Elon saw that, and he's like, this guy's fucking awesome. I want to follow him. I need to talk to him. Maybe he can help us with our marketing. F. Christoph, Only China buys Iranian oil. Yeah, but we don't want... Let's put it this way. China's economy is dying. We don't want it to die too fast because that will... I don't know. I'm conflicted. I got to think about it. Austin, U.S. oil up 2.8%. Yep. Daniel Dibb, imagine people trying to help each other as much as possible. Yeah, right? Don't you want people to be able to take their drones and try and find other people that might be having problems? What was the reasoning behind that? Inverse head and shoulders on Salesforce, Jesse. Ooh, interesting. Let's take a look at that too. And I think my wife's getting ready to take off with the dog here. I'm probably going to have to go. I'll look at Salesforce later, guys. I want to go. I want to say goodbye to my pup before she goes to the doctor. Plus, I got a shit ton of stuff to do. I need to look at WAP tickets. I need to get my payment method set up. I need to go in and start doing more stuff in Discord. Bitcoin should be bouncing, I feel, as assets don't usually trade down for more than 5 days in a row in a bull market. It's mostly true. That came from Oak. C-list, Jesse, the nuclear facilities are deep underground. Look it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if they're trying to build nuclear weapons or defend them, that's possible. But there's the weapons that, yeah, I mean, what's his name was like, what was it? I forget how many feet underground. It was like 7 stories or something, 8 stories, and they were able to kill that fucker and the Hezbollah guy. So they can go real deep, bro. Lance, McDonald's might be using optimism of the event to hook up Tindies. Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, says going to the bet. Yeah, the dog is. Dennis Newber, thanks, Jesse. Silas cannot talk about it on YouTube. Censored. Might try X later. Oh, you can't even type it? I fucking hate YouTube for that. Oh, X needs to get chapters, and they need to make it to where you can subscribe to people's videos specifically and upgrade their app to be really video specific. When they do that, YouTube is fucked. Chris Federal, thank you, bro. Everyone had a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Or in the market recap. Heinz in, all the best to your beloved and pet. Sorry about your dog. See you tweet yesterday. DLO is moving. Is DLO going up still? Is DLO going up too? Thanks. Hope he's okay. They can aim for the air pumps in the deep tunnels and suffocate them. Yes. Yes, cannot mention the weapons. Oh, really? That's so fucking stupid. I hate YouTube. I hate censorship. Screw these people. I'm going to look at DLO real quick just to see if it's going. See what you meant by it's going up. Let me just pop into there real quick, and then I'm going to be done for now, guys, and we'll pick up more tomorrow. 3 hours. You can't hate that. Oh, if this thing stops doing that. DLO. Oh my God, really? I don't know why TradingView sometimes just bombs out on me like that. It's like I don't have anything else open. All right, let me see here. I'll be drunk by market recap. Oh, dude, vacation. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. You have fun, Chris. DLO is bouncing right on peak volumes and the fib, guys. Nice. But it's only at 0.12. It's not really bouncing so much today, but it has been. You're right. It looks solid. It does look solid. I agree with that. All right. I love you guys. I do think today is another buy the dip kind of day. Okay. So I'm definitely thinking today's a buy the dip kind of day. It's also a robot day. So, but for now, let's just say Bitcoin's going to 0. We'll switch it up a little bit. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to 0.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam artists.
These people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. I hope it is.
I clear?
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, I mean, right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor.